let's get into why we're here. It is the 11th of July. We're in the midpoint of July now in 1871 season. We're getting there, guys. We are getting there. It's the business end of the season, and we have a monster game for you. We have the 10 and 11 Rockford Forest Citys, who have spent almost the entire season under 500, a game away from climbing back to 500, and they have the 10 and 8 Fort Wayne Kekiongas. The Kekiongas are joint leaders in the division, and Rockford are a game and a half back. So not only is this a big game, but this is a game that will move, potentially, that could move Rockford to within one game of the National League pennant race. If we manage to win, and Fort Wayne would drop to a half game behind if we manage to win. If Fort Wayne win, they will take sole possession of the National League by a half a game, and we will fall 2 games back. We will fall 2.5 games back. So this is a massive game tonight. 10-11 Rockford have not won much on the road this season at the 10 and 8 Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Let's go over your starting lineups here tonight, starting with the visiting Rockford Forest Citys. Third baseman Cap Anson will lead things off. He's batting .387 right now with 13 RBIs. He's 2 for 4 off Zetland so far this season. George Hall on a hitting streak. He's batting second. The left fielder is batting .310 with 4 home runs and 18 RBIs. He's 1 for 3 so far versus Zetland this season. Ross Barnes, second baseman, will bat third. 13 RBIs and a .319 average for him. 2 for 4 off Zetland this season. Lip Pike, the right fielder, he will bat fourth. He is the baseball leader in home runs and RBIs with 6 and 25 respectively. .333 average. He is 1 for 3 off Zetland, which includes one of those 6 home runs. Doug Allison, the catcher, will bat fifth. He's got 21 RBIs, .347 average, 1 for 3 so far for him against Zetland this season. Joe Start, the first baseman, will bat in the 6th spot. He's batting .322 with 9 RBIs so far this season. He's 0 for 2 versus Zetland. George Bird, the center fielder, will bat 7th. 14 RBIs for him this season. .273 average. 0 for 3 versus Zetland so far this season. George Wright, the shortstop, is in the 8th spot. 8 RBIs and a .253 average for him this season. 1 for 3 off Zetland so far this season. And then finally, pitcher Dick McBride will finish out the lineup for Rockford. He has got 8 RBIs and a .324 average. He is 2 for 3 versus Zetland this season. For the hometown Fort Wayne Kekiongas, Dickie Flowers will lead things off. The shortstop batting .383 with 8 RBIs. So far this season, he's 2 for 3 off Dick McBride. Count Sensendorfer is the real. Those are the 2 big bats up front that do the real damage. Count Sensendorfer, the center fielder, bats second. 11 RBIs, .277 average, but he's 3 for 4 versus McBride this season. Second baseman Jimmy Wood is going to be in the 3 spot. 1 home run, 16 RBIs for him, and a .325 average. He is 1 for 2 off of McBride this season. Steve King, the left fielder, bats in the 4th spot. 10 RBIs for him, .277 average. He's 0 for 4 versus McBride. Harry Schaefer is in the 5 spot for Fort Wayne, the third baseman. 6 RBIs, .232 average. He's 1 for 3 so far this season versus McBride. Wes Fissler, first baseman, is in the 6th spot. He is batting .362. The switch hitter with 12 RBIs so far this season, but 0 for 4 versus McBride. Fergie Malone also 0 for 4 versus McBride. The catcher is in the 7th spot with 10 RBIs and a .237 average this season. Dave Burnsall, right fielder, is in the 8th spot. He's got 16 RBIs and a .324 average, but he's 0 for 4 versus McBride this season. And George Zetland, the pitcher, on a hitting streak with a .237 average, 8 RBIs so far this season. He's in the 9th spot, 1 for 2 off McBride this season. On the mound for Rockford will be Dick McBride, 9 and 10 in 21 starts with 2 no decisions. He's got a 2.26 ERA and a 1.2 WHIP. He won the previous outing versus Fort Wayne without giving up an earned run. George Zetlin is on the mound for Fort Wayne. He is 10-8 in his 18 starts so far this season with a 3.34 ERA and a 1.31 WHIP. He gave up 12 earned runs in the matchup previously versus Rockford this season. It is a 10:05 a.m. start with 69 degrees, clear skies. For those of you that use Celsius, that is about 21 degrees. Yeah, that's about 21. Yeah, that's about 21. Almost 21 degrees. The wind is blowing out to center at 11 miles an hour. Here we go. Underway. Decided to Google these two teams to see what happened to them. Neither survived after this season, but Fort Wayne Stadium burned down. That's crazy, yeah. From the Grand Duchess in Fort Wayne, Indiana, we are ready for some baseball here tonight. George Zetlin on the mound. Cap Anson in the batter's box. We are going to play ball here in Indiana on this pivotal National League pennant race matchup today. This is a huge matchup here in the second half of the season. And we are ready to get underway. Here's the first pitch, and that is going to be taken in the zone for a called strike. It's 0-1. Right now the game is underway. We got to get our inning sponsors. DM Stewart is an awesome retro game speed running commentator, doing all sorts of games from the Final Fantasy Randomizer with FF1 to the Worlds Collide Randomizer with FF6. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great DM Stewart is our sponsor for tonight's first inning. It took me ages last night to figure out how to fix the cameras in one place in OOTP. I was driving me mad because the outfield cam was right behind a pillar. Ooh. What's your save in Out of the Park? Right, here's the 0-1 to Anson. And that is taken off the plate away, 1-1. He's doing a modern day save, or here's the 1-1. And that is ripped right back at the pitcher. He's got it. Really good reaction from Zetlin on the mound. And that'll set Anson down for now. Nobody on, one out for George Hall. The first pitch to George Hall. And that's taken high and away for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. I went on a mission to see if I could stop the 1899 Cleveland Spiders from becoming the worst team in baseball history. Finished the season on 350. Still the worst team in the league, but in no danger of the record, unless you keep playing the save and nobody goes worse. But yeah. What was their actual worst? Wasn't it like a .18 win percentage or something like that? Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that is inside, 1-0. Was the great Denton Young on that 1899 Spiders team. Here's the 2-1 pitch. See, saves like that lamely are a lot of fun. That's a high and away, 3-1. I gave Sean a really good idea for a save you might use this summer, but for like a retro save. 130 was their actual finish. Okay. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 3-2. The Union are on pace for that this season. I know that in the MLS. Here's the 3-2 pitch. We're abysmal, namely. He struck him out. got him looking. Oh, I wrote it the wrong way. I wrote it the wrong way, chat. It's the backwards K. He was not. You gotta give him the old backwards K. That's what that is. Thanks to Kamish for that emote, by the way, because I do not have a backwards K emote. Moved to the perfections for 1899. Part of the reason the spiders sucked IRL. Wow. That one just caught the inside corner. Here's Ross Barnes. First pitch to Barnes. Grounded over the third. On to first. Bad throw. And this one looks like it's going to be an E5. It is indeed an E5. Harry Schaefer will get credited with the error. And Ross Barnes goes to second on the error. So basically the owners of the Spiders bought the Perfectos and took out all the best players with them. Absolutely gutted the Spiders. Funny story, my hometown was 9 miles down the road from Young's hometown. Wow. That'll bring up Lip Pike. Here's the first pitch to Pike. And he's taking that high, 1-0. Also the hometown of Wayne Woodrow Hayes. Very nice. Got some history going on there. Here's the 1-0. And he's popped it up. In foul territory. It's drifting deep out there. Does he got it? Does he have it? This one, no, it lands in the seats. And it'll be a foul ball. And it'll be 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And then this time he's popped it up, but it's in the infield. Third baseman's there. He's going to make the grab. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, and one man left on base. We go bottom first here in Rockford. I'm sorry, in Fort Wayne. There is no score. We are always, as always, with the first inning, we are going to take the full 3-minute timeout. We'll be back with more in 3 minutes' time. All right, welcome back. That is. I've just had hang tight. I've just had a Twitch tab crash on me. Give me 1 second here. Whoa. Okay. Like, whoa. What's happened here? Okay. Sorry. We're good. Welcome back. Bottom first here in Fort Wayne. No score. Dickie Flowers settling in. He's in the batter's box. Dick McBride settling into the pitcher's mound. First pitch incoming to Dickie Flowers. And he's going to take that on the inside part of the plate. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Off the plate away. 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's high and inside. 2-1. Man, I wish I could say my hometown was home to cool people, but we only gave the world Radiohead, Stephen Hawking, and Hugh Laurie and Emma Watson. Nobody. My Philadelphia game gave both good and bad people to the world. Okay, so like that's the thing. Like, dude, I have a lot of pride in Philadelphia, but there are some bad people who came out of Philadelphia. And really, honestly, like, it's cool to celebrate the people that do good, of course, the good people that come out of Philadelphia, you know, your hometown and whatnot. But really, it's always going to be such a random assortment, especially when you're from a big city. It's always going to be such a random assortment. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get the good with the bad. I say big city. Philadelphia is 1.5 million people. So I would classify that as a big city. I don't know if you would classify that as a big city. I would classify it as a big city. It's 1.5 million people. But, yeah. You're always going to get the good with the bad. So, right. Here is the 2-1 pitch. And he has lined that into center field. It's a base hit for Dickie Flowers. Oh, and it's an error on the shortstop as well. So it's going to be, I'm sorry, not shortstop, the center fielder. So George Bird will be credited with an error. It gets recorded as a single, but then on the E8, Flowers goes to second, and Fort Wayne have a runner in scoring position with nobody out. Count Sensendorfer, the next man up. We talked about these opening two hitters in the lineup, by the way. Flowers is now 3 for 5 versus McBride. Here's a man 3 for 4 versus him, Sensendorfer, and he's going to sack bunt. Throw over to first is in time, and that does the job in moving the runner over to third base. So that doesn't even count as an at-bat. Sensendorfer stays 3 for 4 versus McBride. That brings up Jimmy Wood, the second baseman. Here's the first pitch, and that is taken for a called strike. That's 0-1. So, hold on. Oh my God, pause. Good Lord. No. Fuck. No. Hang on, hang tight. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Actually, hang tight one more second. I'm sorry. Let me fix this thing. There we go. Okay. Right, called strike. Here's the 0-1. And that is ripped right back up the middle, base hit, and that is a run. Jimmy Wood with an RBI single. And Fort Wayne have taken the lead. It's 1-0 Kekiongas. You gave the world Kevin Bacon, Bradley Cooper, Angel of Buffy, and Kat Dennings. That's a strong list. Oh, and Richard Gere, and Kevin Hart, and Grace Kelly, and Catherine Moaning, and even Pink. So basically, everyone from Philly is Crazy Hot David Lee. You know, 2 people we did give to the world chasing lamely? I'm talking about the bad ones. I can name you 2 of the bad ones. So that's why. Right. We also did Will Smith. I don't know if that's good or bad to you. I'm undecided on Will Smith. But I know that's wrong. Correct. And I deliberately ignored. Yes, correct. There's one more. What's up, Moss? Welcome in. How are you, man? How are you, Mossman? There's one. The one that you mentioned is one of the 2, lamely. Here is the first pitch to Steve King. Runner on first, 1 out. And King's going to take that for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Grounded over to first. Oh, and the first baseman's made an error now. It's in E3. First baseman Joe Stark gets the error. 2 errors, and that really hurts Fort Wayne in this one. Going to second will be Jimmy Wood. 2 on with 1 out. Teller, Edwin. No, I mean, I don't know enough about Teller being bad. I don't know anything about that. I don't even know who Edwin is. No, Benjamin Netanyahu was born in Philadelphia. So M. Night Raman, I don't know what's bad. I think I know what's bad about him, but I know fucking nothing about Hollywood too. Like, I know nothing about Hollywood. I'm good. So are we talking about famous people from where we are from? Yeah, you got it spot on. Right, here's Harry Schaefer, third baseman, 2 on, 1 out. It's just been way worse than a 6 hit. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Swung on a missed on that one. Okay, I didn't like if you're just talking quality movie, I don't know, because I haven't watched anything from M. Night Shyamalan, to be honest with you. So I think I can top it. David Beckham lived around the corner from me. That's pretty fucking cool. But is he born there? Was he born there? You know? Someone brought up the 1890 Cleveland Spiders, and I had to ask if Cy Young was still on the Spiders in the 1899. Yes? Nice. There's the 0-1 pitch. That is the throw over to third on the attempted steal. They got him. He was caught stealing. Ward caught stealing. Or, I'm sorry, not Ward. Jimmy Wood caught stealing. He's gunned down. Steve King did not move. So it was not a double steal. It was just Jimmy Wood. And now there's 1 on with 2 out. He left for the Perfectos that year. Oh, my God. Do we just consider the area of London I'm from, or just London in general? You know what? That's such a good question. I don't know. You Brits would be better to answer that than me. You know what I mean? Although I said from Philadelphia, so I include the entire city. And our city is 1.5 million people. So, you know, maybe just London in general then, I guess. Here's the 0-2. That's fouled off. It'll stay 0-2. The 0-2 again. And he's taking that. High, ball 1. Here's the 1-2. Rounded over to second. The throw on to first is in time, and the side is retired. 1 run on 2 hits, and they leave 1 on base. We go top second. Fort Wayne has taken the lead. It's 1-0. 5, 6, 7 spots due up for Rockford. It'll be Doug Allison to lead things off. I'd say Beckham being a neighbor was a win, but I grew up with Emma Watson and I'm friends with all the guys in Radiohead, so I don't know. But Bex is what it's not a pissing not a pissing contest. That's a harsh way of putting it. It's not a comparison. You know what I mean? Like we're not one-upping here. But yeah, Chingford same as Harry Kane. Oh, okay. Used to play footy with Beckham. See, that's so believable because you guys are so much smaller and a nation in terms of geographic-wise, right? Than the United States. You know what I mean? So, because that gives you Harry Kane, Damon Albarn, Hitchcock, Tony Robinson. That's a strong list, yeah. Right, we're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back. Oh, no, wait, it's the top of the inning. What am I doing? We're not taking it. It's a shout-out time. Sorry. It's shout. New inning means new sponsor. Chasing Lamely is an awesome football manager streamer. Here we are playing FM 26. Why is that the clip that has to come? Thank God I don't send clip audio to the VOD. God damn, of all the clips. No. But yeah, definitely go give them a follow if you haven't already. Chasing Lamely will sponsor tonight's second inning. It'll be Doug Allison settling in for Rockford. Just means we got to get you more clips. Remind me, I have to clip that trophy lift from Saturday, by the way. Not Saturday. Wednesday stream. Right. Right. Here's the first pitch to Allison. And that is ripped high into center field, right at the center fielder, though, and he is going to make that catch. 1 away. I should clip the promotion we won tonight, but I'll forget. I usually don't because I like to number them. Like this is trophy 10, 11, 12, 13 out of 252. You know what I mean? And then I can put it on the dock. And then it, like the title of the clip has trophy number, club, trophy that we won, and club that we won it with. That'll bring up Joe Start. First baseman. Here's the first pitch to him. That's high, ball 1. Yeah, you said how you doing? Where did you say that, Bossman? You said how you asked earlier how we're doing. I'm doing okay. Like I feel all right. I have a headache, and dinner went straight through me, dude. Like straight through me. That's why I was late because I went up. Nature called after I ate dinner, so I went and I used the restroom. And that was at 6. I was set to go live at 6:50 originally, and this was at 6:20. And I came in here and I started to finish up the work I was doing before setting up stream, and I finished that and I was started to set up the stream. This was around 6:45. Or whenever it was that I typed in the Discord that I needed 15 more minutes. When did I type that? Yeah, that was like 6:45. So I felt really upset stomach, and I was just when I typed, hey, I need 15 minutes, I ran to the bathroom, and I had to nature called again, and I was just like, oh my God. So I have an upset stomach. And I have a little bit of a headache because I had a migraine this morning. that I've just been battling back all day. So, but aside from that, I am doing very well. Right. I mean, it was excruciating this morning. I didn't get anything done in the morning. I didn't get anything done before like noon or 1 o'clock. I mean, it was just absolutely debilitating. So. Yeah. I usually take a drink during the half-inning breaks. When we go to ads, I usually take a swig of water. So, and I had my throat comfort tea as well. Right. Here's Joe Start settling in. The 1-0 to start. And that is popped up. Drifting foul. That's going to land in the seats. We'll do it again. 1-1 now. Here's the 1-1. He's fouled that off. It'll be 1-2. Being Londoner, I'm really proud we have given the world such greats like David Bowie and Michael Caine, but for me, my favorite is Sir Dayton Attenborough. He's such a legend. London also gave the world time zones, which is very useful. That is true. Here's the 1-2. It's weird. It's funny you say that. That's inside 2-2 because I literally last night I was up a little bit late last night. Not too late. Like I try to be in bed by 11:30, and I was up till midnight, so only a half hour, right? But I was literally going to bed, and one of the people I commissioned reached out to me at like 11:50 at night, and they're like, "Hey, I'm ready to start hounding out the details to your inquiry." And I was like, "Great, I'm going to bed. I will type them to you in the morning. Read them whenever you can." And they were like, "That's cool." And then I looked on their page, and it said they were from Indonesia. And I'm like, right. So it's like 10 a.m. there. And they've woken up and seen a request overnight from me. And I'm here getting ready to go to bed, and that's why. And so a lot of the artists that are working on stuff for me, I think two are from the Philippines. I know the emote artist is also from the Philippines. I think 2 are from Indonesia. A few are from the U.S. One that just delivered the last piece that I commissioned them for today was from the Netherlands. Quite a few are from Japan because all the Skeb requests are based out of Japan. So, yeah. Here's the 2-2, but it's just weird because it's like you work on such a delay. That's ripped into left field. That is going to land fair. That is a fair ball. And going around the bases is going to be Joe Start. He's into second base with a double. It's not really an issue. It's just, something to keep in mind when you're working with people. You know what I mean? Right. This will bring up George Bird, the center fielder, runner on second, 1 out. Hello, Viva Lastam. Welcome in. That's taken for a called strike at the lettering. Thank you for the lurk. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is shot right at the first baseman. He's got it. The throw over to second. Safe at second. The runner tags in time. But that was absolutely blasted at the first baseman, and he manages to get both hands around it, takes it cleanly, throws it over to second, but the runner has gotten back safely. And so 2 outs for George Wright, who was the next man up, the shortstop here. First pitch to Wright, and he's going to take that high and in, ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That is a foul tip, and it is 0-2. That looked like a foul tip to me, at least. It's 1-1. Here's the 1-1. That's grounded over to third. The throw on to first is not a good throw. It is an E5. And so the inning should have been done and over with. But now there's runners on the corners. Just 90 feet away is Joe Start, and here is Dick McBride, the pitcher. He can give himself some run support, tie the game for Rockford here. The first pitch to McBride is taken right down the chute for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is on the outside part of the plate, 0-2. The 0-2 pitch, high and outside, ball one. The 1-2. Check swing, they asked first base. He did not go, says the first base umpire. And the pitch was well inside. It's 2-2. The 2-2. Way high and away, ball three. It gets by the catcher, and coming in to score, it's actually a wild pitch. Coming in to score is Joe Start. Right goes to second, and this game is tied on a wild pitch. Here's the 3-2 to McBride, and he's lined that into right center, base hit. McBride gets a single, and that pushes right over to third base, and we go back to the top of the order in Cap Anson. He lined out to the pitcher his first at bat. Here's the pitch. Anson, that is a foul tip, and it's 0-1. Hey, bada, hey, bada, swing, bada. Here's the 0-1. And this is lined into right. Is that going to stay fair? It's a fair ball. And this is going to be runs. It's an RBI double for Cap Anson. And Rockford, with Wright scoring from third, have taken the lead. It's 2-1. McBride goes to third on the play. 2 on, 2 out here for George Hall. He struck out looking his last at bat. We should get this pitcher some glasses. He doesn't seem to be very good at throwing the ball in a straight line. I am Rockford, so I will take the lead. I'm managing Rockford. Here's the first pitch. And that is just, I think it's just caught the lettering. It did. 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's high and away, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is lined into left, and that is going to be a fair ball. That is off the wall. And going to second is George Hall. It's another stand-up double and an RBI double. And scoring on the play is Dick McBride. They do not round Anson. I'm sorry, it's a single. It's an RBI single. I beg your pardon. I thought that was a double. I certainly thought it was hit deep enough that would have been a double. It's an RBI single, so McBride will score. Anson goes to third, and it's 3-1 Rockford. Thank you for the alert, Thomas. Welcome in, Lone Star. Lone Star, I give you the option, my friend. When a streamer comes in to the chat, I usually give them a whole inning to sponsor, and they get their shout out at the top of the inning. If you would like one now instead, I can give it to you now instead. Currently, you would be on track to sponsor the 6th inning. Right. It is Ross Barnes settling, and he reached via an error his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Barnes. And, oh no! Oh no! Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. So what happened? So it was a pitch out. It was a ball, right? That's gotta hurt. Yeah. So it was a ball. And the catcher being Fergie Malone, decided to try and pick off the runner at first, but he threw wide of the bag, and the ball went into center field. That's allowed Hall to take second for free, but it's also allowed Anson to come home for free, and Rockford have made it 4-1. But welcome in. Yes, I noticed that the OOTP channel did not rate any OOTP streamers. Here's the 1-0. That is popped up. I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. And that is popped up in foul territory. The catch is made, and the side is finally retired. I'm not saying it because, like, they rate who they want to rate, and they support who they want to support. It's nobody deserves it. You know what I mean? And none of us that are on right now offer drops, so it's not. A lot of viewers I find with Out of the Park. There is a lot of genuine viewers. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of them are there and they just farm drops. That's it. So if you don't offer them, they're not going to come in. They're not going to come in to watch it, which is fine. They do what they want to do. Right. 3 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the second. I'm sorry, 4 runs on 4 hits. I beg your pardon, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the second, and it's 4-1 Rockford. We are going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. You know, I never get my full like drops. Speaking of drops, I always there's like always going to be 1 or 2 days I don't have notification. I have very few notifications on for Twitch. Very few notifications on for Twitch. So I always no, it's not off the Matrix. So I always wind up like missing some drops by the end of the week. You know what I mean? So like last week I got all the drops except the final bundle from OOTP, and I think 1 or 2 days I missed the affiliate drops. But I missed a tongue. West Coast. Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. That's got to be brutal. But I'll say it uh I'll say it now. Let me see if I can load it actually. Find it real quick in my recently closed tabs. I don't think it I did okay, no, it's not I'd have to really go find it, but let me see if I can actually give me 1 second. I want to show you guys something. I don't want to wait till the end of the stream to do it. So give me 1 second. Let me see here. See all recently closed tabs. Oh no! Don't tell me I just cleared my history. Fuck's sake. Control H is the history shortcut. Here we go. All right. I did clear my history. No, it's still here. Hold on. I didn't. Nope. That's not. It's killing me. It's killing me. It's not on my history. Okay, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I was gonna show you guys the out of the park. I guess I'll just say it now. I was gonna show you guys the league summary page for the perfect team from this week from out of the park, because out of the park was like, you know, perfect team finished on Sunday, and I was looking at last week. Sports is better out here though. I don't have to stay up till midnight. That's true. Those 10:30 kickoffs, bro, they kill me, Danny. You're not wrong there. What did you say earlier, Lone Star? As long as I don't see Spanish gynecology ads again, I'm good. You can't. If you get an ad, there should be a little icon in the top right corner that you can click during the ad. And you can tell Twitch that you don't want to see that ad anymore, or that ad is not relevant to you. And then Twitch will eventually filter that out. And you shouldn't see it. Now, they are going to ignore that for some of the big games that they're partnered for, like Valorant, because I can't tell you how many times before I had Turbo, I would get an ad, and it would be a Valorant ad. And I would tell them, I am not interested in this. Please do not show me Valorant. I hate that game with a burning passion. And then it would stop showing me that ad for like the men's tournament they were advertising for you to watch, and then like 2 weeks later there would be a women's tournament that was like a big tournament, and they would advertise that, and then they would start showing you that ad because it's all paid sponsorship, and it's like, I told you I didn't want to see Valorant, so why are you sending me Valorant? Oh, it's a different tournament, or it's a different ad set, and it's like so annoying. You know what I mean? Unless I take up boxing, I can't imagine ever needing one. Fair enough. Is that song off the soundtrack to The Matrix? No, it is called Going Down, or Go Down, and it is from the Unreal Tournament 1999 soundtrack, and it's going to be our commercial break song for tonight. Right. Bottom second, Wes Fissler here, settling in. First baseman. First pitch to him. And he's going to take that one on the inside. It's 0-1. Thank you for the follow, Dave. Dave Clatson. Thank you. I hope I said that correctly. Well, welcome in. Welcome to 1871. This is July 11th in 1871, and this is a big matchup because Rockford are a game and a half back in the National League pennant, which is joint held by Fort Wayne. Rockford leading 4-1 right now. We do all sorts of sports commentary on the stream. More on that in a minute. Let's get this pitch in. And that is ripped high into left, but foul territory. It will land foul, and it'll be 0-2 to West Fistler. We play NHL 2K6. We commentate that. We have a Benny versus Chat save in that one, where some members of Chat are joint general managers of the Boston Bruins, and I am managing the Edmonton Oilers. And we are playing to see who can win the Stanley Cup. We do Franchise Hockey Manager 12. We started the 1910 National Hockey Association season in FHM 12. We're about 3 games into that overall. And here's the 0-2 now to West Fistler. And he's grounded that over to second. The throw on to first is in time, and that is first out of the inning. Just here for some chill comms while I bump up around on Perfect Team. Speaking of Perfect Team, I started talking about Perfect Team. I appreciate it, though, by the way. We play a bunch of different games. We play Football Manager as well. We don't commentate that. I actually play that game. And we play 3 different gachas, and there's an anime golf game I need to bring back in May called Peng Ya. That's really cool, MMO anime golf game. And every once in a while you'll see something else. We're going to start a Final Fantasy 1 playthrough this month as well. Man, Stanley Cups would be a terrible prize for winning at sports. Well done, guys. Great season. Now you can do cosplay Saga. What are you talking? Oh, you mean the original Stanley Cup. When people say Stanley Cups, the hockey Stanley Cup is the Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. It don't mean none of that nonsense. None of that thermos nonsense. Here's Fergie Malone settling in. He's fanned at that one, and it's a. I know it's a joke. I'm just saying. So that's kind of why I like hockey, though. One of my old roommates put it best. They go, the unique thing about hockey compared to other sports is they prioritize the game or they prioritize the series. Like, what do you want to win? I want to win the NBA championship. What do you want to win? I want to win the World Series. What do you want to win? I want to win the Super Bowl. None of it, like the game is bigger than the trophy. Do you know what I mean? But then it's like, you ask hockey players, what do you want to win? I want to win the Stanley Cup. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit more emphasis on the trophy in hockey and the history that the trophy has. And the history of the Stanley Cup and the rings that they have in the Hockey Museum, the Hockey Hall of Fame up in Toronto, with all the previous members of the winning teams engraved on them, with the staff, like that's incredible, absolutely incredible. You know what I mean? So, I think it's one of the neatest traditions in sports. So, here's the 0-1 to Fergie Malone, and he has ripped this foul down the right field line. It's 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Off the plate away. 1-2. Let's go, Fergie. No. Here's the 1-2. That's high and away. 2-2. I am managing Rockford in this save, Lone Star. So I'm hoping we can win because we'll be back level with 10 to. We'll be back at 500 with 10 to play. Here's the 2-2. He's lined that into right. Base hit. Curse you, Lone Star. I'm just teasing. I quite enjoy the Borg Warner Trophy. I think it's the coolest trophy in sports, personally. I have no idea what trophy that is. So, at least not by its name. The Borg Warner Trophy. Oh yeah, the Indy 500. Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah. I think the FA Cup is really special as well. And I know that's like very cliche of me to say, but like, I don't know if people realize the FA Cup is the second oldest trophy that has been continuously awarded every season. It's the second oldest sports trophy in the world that's still awarded today. Like, that's the history it has. And it's that to me is amazing. Here is Dave Birdsall settling in, the right fielder. 1-on-1 out here. And that is a call. Strike is over. I'm sorry, it's not it's not 1-on-1 out. Whoa. What was it? Oh, he flied out. I'm sorry. How did he did not get a base hit? He flied out the right field. I'm sorry. So he flied out the right field. I thought it looked like a base hit. Right. I totally missed that. After the America's Cup for sailing. That is the America's Cup for sailing is the oldest sports trophy. Here's the 0-1 to Dave Birdsall. He's fanned that one 0-2. There's the 0-2 pitch to Dave Birdsall. That's high, 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That is in the dirt, 2-2. That's one thing I would actually like to go watch at the Olympics is sailing. Sailing would be one of the events I'd totally be down to watch. So my friend First Goal Series, you guys might not know him. You might know him if you've been here for the FM, but he's on Twitch, known as First Goal Series. He messaged me today. He won the lottery for the tickets. He got pulled for the tickets. Let me draw up those DMs real quick. He just said, "Holy shit! I did not expect so much for tickets," and I'm like, "Yeah, boy. Depends on what you want." You know, I said depending on what you want. He goes, "Swimming is like 800. Preliminary swimming was 800," and I'm like, "Yes, but preliminary swimming events." You're going to probably get anywhere from you're probably going to get 8 heats in that event. But on the flip side, that's one of the most in-demand sports you could buy. Whereas if you bought rhythmic gymnastics, not artistic gymnastics, which is like what Simone Biles does, but rhythmic gymnastics where they twirl with the ribbons and whatnot, those events will be cheaper. The cricket's probably significantly cheaper. The football group stage is probably cheaper. You know what I mean? And yeah, I know. I cannot wait till Coventry's out of the presidency. She is not going to be a good president for the IOC at all, whatsoever. She's really not it. Right, here's the 2-2. That is off the plate. 3-2 now to Dave Birdsall. But the point is, some events are going to be cheaper than other events. You know what I mean? I'm sure the handball group stage games are pretty reasonably priced. Being 240 pounds. Yeah, I know, right? Here's the 3-2 pitch. Grounded over the third. The throw on to first. That's in time. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. No men left on base. We go top third in Fort Wayne, Indiana. 4-1 Rockford. It'll be the 4, 5, 6 spots due up for the Forest Citys. Lip Pike will lead things off in the third inning. But first, new inning means it's time for a new sponsor. Crack Attack Central is a brilliant Irish streamer. He's been streaming Shimigami Tensei 5. Here he is playing Helldivers 2. He's right. Go give Crack a follow. He's brilliant. He's got a great sense of humor. He's been playing through Shimigami Tensei 5 recently. So he's done Shimigami Tensei 5, Football Manager, Helldivers 2, Arc Raiders, a little bit of everything. WWE 2K26 as well. Limp Pike settles in. George Zetlin back on the mound. Here's the first pitch to Pike. And he has shot that into right field. That's deep. That's off the wall. And Limp Pike is going to scoot to third. Can he make it in time? The throw is not there in time. And Limp Pike has a lead-off triple for Rockford to start the third. That'll bring up George Zetlin. He flied out to center his first at-bat. Here's the first pitch to Allison. And he's ripped that into left, base hit. And it's an RBI single for Doug Allison. Coming home the score is Limp Pike. And just like that, 2 batters, 2 pitches, 2 hits, and Rockford have made it 5-1. Joe Start settles in now. He hit a double his last at-bat. First pitch to Joe Start. He tries the bunt it high. He tries the bunt at it, but he realizes it's high. Pulls the back in time. And it's taken for a ball, 1-0. Here's the 1-0. He's going to bunt that down. Throw from the mound is in time, and Joe Start's got a sacrifice bunt. That moves the runner to second base. Doug Allison on second now with 1 out. That'll bring up George Bird. Bird lined out to the first baseman his last at bat. First pitch to Bird. That's inside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's lined right back at the pitcher. He's got it. And the runner will tag. So he's back in time. That is Doug Allison. He dives back into second base in time. Well, that one was smoked right back at Burt. That's the second, right back at Zetlin. That is the second time that's happened in this game now. We're only in the third inning, and that's going to bring up George Wright. He reached via an error his last at bat. First pitch to Wright. And he's ripped that right at the first baseman. He's dropped it. He's dropped it. He's reached via an error again. It's an error on the first baseman, Wes Fizzler. The third error of the game for Fort Wayne. The fourth error of the game for Fort Wayne. Where was the other error? Where was the other error? I'm sorry, I don't want game wrong. I need box score. Harry Schaefer, that's right. I forgot to correct his to 2. I even commentated it was his second of the night, and right, there we go. So pitcher Dick McBride now in the batter's box. Throw back over to first. The runner is back safely. And McBride had a single his last at bat. Runners on the corners here. Here's the first pitch. He's fouled that off. It'll be 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to McBride. And that one's going to get by the catcher. Coming home in time to score is Doug Allison. That is a wild pitch. So for the second time in this game, a wild pitch will bring a run home. Allison scores. Wright goes to second. And Rockford goes 6-1 into the lead. Here's the 1-1. And that's lined into center, base hit, and McBride has got back-to-back singles. Going to third is right, and it's runners on the corners again with still 2 outs. Back to the top of the order, and Cap Anson, he's 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Anson. He's taking that high and away. At ball 1. The 1-0 to Anson is lined right at the second baseman. This time he will glove it with both hands. And the side is retired. 2 runs on 3 hits. And they leave 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the third here in Fort Wayne. The Kekiongas trailing 6-1. 9-1-2 spots due up for Fort Wayne. George Setlin will settle in. The pitcher will lead things off. We're still going to take our 90-second timeout because we want to disable the pre-roll. It's not so much that ad timer so much as it is the pre-roll. So we are going to take the 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. All right, welcome back. Bottom third here. Were you still looking at my stream for the big moment tonight? I got made a YouTube partner while I was live on stream. I did not. I'll have to go. See, that is something you should immediately go back and clip, lamely. You should 100% clip that. In fact, you should leave here and go do it now. You should definitely clip that. I did not see it, but if you do clip it, DM me the clip on Discord and I'll post it in the announcements tab and something like that and announce it to the entire Discord. So, right. I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong tab here. Hold on. Oh shit. Sorry. I had one tab up that I was lurking and it was going offline literally in the middle of the ad break. So I wanted to go close that tab real quick. First I have to learn how to clip from a VOD. I'll work it out tomorrow. So just go okay, real quick. If you're on your streamer dashboard, what I recommend you do is go to your content tab on your creator dashboard on Twitch, and under content, video producer, and then your VOD will be there. You select the VOD, and then when the window pops up, there'll be a little thing above the. Why don't I show you? How about that? How about why don't I show you? So, real quick. I mean, okay, can you see? Okay. That is, I just tabbed back into the game and not Vivaldi. Right. Creator dashboard, content, video producer. Okay. Select the VOD you want. So this is my latest VOD. I would click the VOD, pops up. You can play the VOD directly from here. You can also download the VOD, I think, directly from here. Not 100% sure on the download, but either way. Go to VOD page. The VOD page comes up. And here the VOD starts playing. So if you want it, you scroll to where you want to clip in the VOD, and then you just clip it like normal. You can also get there by, I don't need to hear myself in my own ears. You can also get there from your own. So if you're on your own channel here, you know, I always keep my schedule tab up. You can go right here to chat, or you can go right here to videos. And then you can go past broadcasts, view all, or you can just, if it's down here, you can see it, and you can navigate to your VOD page there, and it would be the exact same. It takes you to the exact same spot. So that is how you clip from a VOD. So let me get back on the where I was. Here we go. Streamception. So nice. I'll try that. You are welcome. Let me turn off Vivaldi audio now. And move. Where's OOTP? Where's my OOTP scene? There we go. Sorry about that. We're back. So, but yeah. Let me see here. Where was I? Is everything as it was? Yes. Okay. Cool. Cool. Right. Here is the bottom third. Where's my pencil? Where did I put my pencil? Oh, here we go. Okay. It is George Zetland settling in. Dick McBride on the mound. Here's the first pitch. Fouled off. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to George Zetland. He's fanned at that one. 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch to George Zetland. That's way high and off the plate. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside, ball 2. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a stream marker right now so that I can clip that and send those instructions to you tomorrow. Right. Here's the 2-2. He's grounded that right back to the mound. The throw over to first. That's in time. And Zetland's retired. Dickie Flowers, the next man up. He singled his first at bat. Here's the first pitch to Flowers. And he has popped that up in the infield. Third baseman's coming over to it. He's got it, and that's 2 away. Count Sensendorfer will settle in. He had a sacrifice bunt his last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Sensendorfer, and he's taking that off the plate away. 1-0. Here's the 1-0. And he offered at that one. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. And that one is taken. That just missed. That just missed. 2-1. That looked like an unfavorable call. It's 2-1. Here's the pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask the third base umpire, and he said he swung. So strike 2 to Sensendorfer. Here's the 2-2. He's lined that foul into the right field seats. Here's the 2-2. And that is ripped into left, but right at the left fielder. He's got it. And the side is retired. 3 up, 3 down here in the bottom of the third. We go top of the fourth. 6-1 Rockford. New inning means time for a new sponsor. Mossman Games is an amazing Football Manager content creator. He's also been streaming a 2026 mod of F1 Manager 2024. He's going to be doing that once a week. Check him out. That is a great save going on that he started. Really interesting save. The great Mossman Games will sponsor our fourth inning here tonight. It'll be 2, 3, 4 spots for Rockford to start this inning. George Hall will settle in. He is 1 for 2 so far today. Here's the first pitch to George Hall. That's in the dirt, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch to George Hall. He's fanned at that one, 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And that is ripped high into left, deep. Is that going to, the left fielder's tracking back to the corner. He's there, he makes the grab. And Hall is retired to start this fourth inning. That'll bring up Ross Barnes. He is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Barnes. Off the plate inside, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. He did not go, says the first base umpire. And the ball's inside. It'll be 2-0. I forgot to see if the Phillies are playing tonight. I don't think they are because they had an afternoon game yesterday, which usually means that today is the travel day. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And that's down the right down Broad Street. It's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. High and away. It's a hitter's count now at 3-1. Here's the pitch. And he's walked him. Ball 4. And so Barnes gets a walk. Just DM'd you a link to the clip on Discord. I will promote it probably sometime tomorrow. Thank you. I'll probably make the announcement tomorrow. All right, cool. Okay, yeah. Sorry. I'm like, where was I? It is Lip Pike settling in. Pike is 1 for 2 with a triple so far today. Runner on first, 1 down. First pitch to Pike. And he's grounded that right back to short. The throw on to first, that's in time. And Pike is retired. Going to second will be Barnes, but now there are 2 outs here. Doug Allison settles in. He's 1 for 2 today. First pitch to Allison. And that's lined into right, base hit. Allison has a single. Going to third base will be Barnes. I need to be up in 6 hours. Let's go Forest Cities. Absolutely, let's go Forest Cities. Thank you for being here, Langley. Get a great night's sleep and have a great freaking day tomorrow. Take care. No, it's Forest Cities. It's Forest Cities. EA Sports. Right, here's Joe's start. He's 1 for 1 so far today. First pitch to Joe's start. A throw over to first, and a runner is back safely. Here's the first pitch. That's taken high and away for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. And that is off the plate away, 2-0. 2-0 now. Here's the pitch. That's grounded foul down the third base side. It'll be 2-1. 2-1 the pitch, or 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. And that's a late swing from start. Zetlin blew that one right by him. It's 2-2. 2-2, here's the pitch. That's fouled off to the backstop. It'll be 2-2 still. Here's the 2-2. Grounded back to the mound. The throw over to first is not a good throw. And Zetlin gets credited with the error. It's the 5th for Fort Wayne in this game. It'll be an E1 for Joe's start. Going to second is Allison, but Barnes scores. And it's 7-1 Rockford. George Burns settles in now. He is 0 for 2. First pitch to Bird. And he has shot this into left. That's going to drift foul, though. We'll do it again at 0-1. Here's the 0-1 to Bird. He's fouled that behind home plate, and it's 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Grounded over to second, and that is an error on the second baseman. What is going on in Fort Wayne? Jimmy Wood credited with the error. That is the 6th error for Fort Wayne in this game. Bird is aboard. On to second goes Start. Over to third goes Allison, and the bases are loaded for George Wright. Wright is 0 for 2. Here's the first pitch. That's fouled off. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1. High and away. 1-1. Here's the 1-1. And Wright has got a great pitch to hit, and he popped it up right at the shortstop. He's there to make the catch, and the side is retired. 1 run on 1 hit, and they left the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is 7-1 Rockford. 3, 4, 5 spots due up. Jimmy Wood is going to lead off the inning. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. So I was answering 2 DMs during that break. I apologize. One on Discord and not Langley's DM. A completely different DM on Discord. And I had one on VGen. Anyway, we're back. We're ready. It's bottom 4th here in Fort Wayne. Rockford have just tacked on runs in 3 straight innings. They've got a 7-1 advantage now. Jimmy Wood settles in, second baseman. Here he is, and here's the first pitch from Dick McBride. That's grounded back to second. The throw on to first, they got him. 1 away. That'll bring up left fielder Steve King. He's 0 for 1 so far today. First pitch to King. And he's going to take that right on the inside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. High and inside, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. That is inside, ball 2. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Off the plate away, 3-1 now. Hitters count for Steve King. Here's the pitch. He's lined it foul down the first base side. And the count will run full at 3-2. Here's the payoff pitch to Steve King. Shot. Diving stop. He got it. What a play. What a play. That was absolutely put on a rocket for the gap at second base into center. George Wright got a great jump on it. He takes 2 steps. He absolutely flings himself towards the dirt. And he just gets a hand underneath it. And that is a phenomenal defensive play from shortstop George Wright. It robs a hit from Steve King. And now there's nobody on with 2 outs. 9 retired in a row for McBride. Here's the first pitch to Schaefer. He takes that iron inside. It's 1-0. Here is the 1-0 pitch to Schaefer, who's 0-1 so far today. He has lined this in. That will be a base hit. Schaefer gets aboard with a 2-out single here in the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Wes Fisler who settles in. He grounded out his last at bat. First pitch to Fisler. He was going to steal. That one was taken high. It's 1-0. Schaefer's got a lot of speed, a lot of talent to swipe a bag. He could go here. 1-0 pitch. That one's going to be inside 2-0. This is definitely the count to steal on here. Here's the 2-0 pitch. And fanning at that one and missing is Fisler, 2-1. It's still a count to steal on. So here's the 2-1. And he's popped it up as Schaefer right at third baseman. Third baseman's there. He's got it. And the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 man on base. We go top 5th in Fort Wayne. And Rockford have a 7-1 advantage. It's going to be the 9-1-2 spots for Rockford due up. Dick McBride will be the first man to lead things off. He is 2 for 2 so far today. But before we get there, new ending means it's time for a new sponsor. Viva Listam is an awesome Football Manager streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Dude's just great to talk to, man. Just great to talk to. Real down-to-earth individual. Give him a follow if you haven't already. The great Viva Listam is going to sponsor our 5th inning here tonight. Thank you. Welcome in, Mr. Nuclear Monster. How are you, man? Here's the first pitch to Dick McBride. He's fouled that off. It'll be 0-1. Yeah, I'm a little under the weather. Sorry to see you are too. I'm not really under the weather. I'm just having a bad day. Like, I woke up with an excruciating migraine. And it's down to just a headache now. Like a normal-sized headache. Which is good. So I made progress on that front. And the upset stomach was because dinner just did not sit well with me for some reason. I had carnitas. And we shredded the pork ourselves and threw it in the crock pot. And I just think I had too much of like the juice / grease. You know how it like pools in the juice? I think I had too much. I think it was a little bit too wet. And it just did a number on me. So my stomach feels all right now. It's a little bit much. Too much grease ruins you too. Yeah, like it's a little bit it's I got indigestion, a lot of indigestion now, but the actual like pain of it has gone away. That's pretty much gone. But yeah, a night's sleep and I'll be perfectly fine, in all honesty. But I'm sorry to hear that you are under the weather as well, my man. So that sucks. Here's the 0-1. How's the wife doing as well? That's a called strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2. She's good? Good. I started eating that disgusting orange fiber drink, Metamucil, a few years ago, and it helps a lot. My dad actually has that. He does the powder with the water still. But I think I get plenty of fiber. My body has plenty of fiber, to be honest with you. So I'm not like, and I'm regular, so I don't think I need it now. Because I take an antacid, and if you don't know the side effects, for those that don't know, I take Nexium. I can't remember what the actual chemical is. I don't actually take the brand Nexium because they're overpriced, and you can buy like the dollar store brand for half the price. But it's the same exact medicine, same exact dosage. But I take that for my GERD to alleviate the symptoms of it. Oh, there we go. The Phillies are playing tonight. They're playing in San Francisco. We were just talking about the guy that, what's his name? God, he just was in here. Dave L. Clatson. We were talking about that, how the West Coast games don't, or it might have been Danny. I think it was Danny Smith Jr. Sorry, it was Danny Smith Jr. How the West Coast games are great for him. And here I am. The Phillies haven't thrown first pitch until 9:45. So, stupid game is blacked out for me. Can you VPN? Because that's what I used to do. I used to just VPN. Yeah, whenever I had that and I did like the hockey pass, or not the hockey pass, but MLB TV, I would just VPN. But I haven't had MLB TV for like 15 years, so maybe a little less than that. It's been like 12 or 13 years since I had that, but yeah. Doesn't seem to work around it somehow with MLB TV. I might try again. Fair enough. Fair enough. You could. I used to hate living in Portland, Oregon. Some Mariners games were blacked out, and we are over 170 miles away. Denver Sports Help, but now they're gone, yeah. Danny, I live in central Pennsylvania, so not, like, I'm an hour 10 west of Philly, and I'm like 4 hours from Pittsburgh, and I'm an hour north of Baltimore because I'm, like, right on the Mason-Dixon. 2 hours from D.C., so all 4 of them are blacked out in central PA. Literally in central PA, the Pirates are blacked out on MLB TV. The Phillies are blacked out on MLB TV. The Orioles are blacked out on MLB TV. The Nationals are blacked out on MLB TV. Plus, any nationally syndicated games are blacked out on MLB TV. So, like Saturday, Fox ran a 1 o'clock game, and I think they had a 9 o'clock game that evening. And Apple TV had like a 7 o'clock game that evening. So there were 7 games blacked out, which is why I don't buy the pass. Why, you know what I mean? Because I look at it and I go, why am I going to give you guys $150 to not watch half the league? If there were 5 games going on during the day, let's say it was like a light baseball schedule, if there were 5 games going on and 3 of those 5 games were, Phillies, Pirates, and Nationals, I would only have 2 games to watch. I have T-Mobile as well, but and I do get it, but it's like I never have a use for it. You know what I mean? So, because like I said, half the games are going to be blacked out on any given night. Or a third at least. So, right. It's just stupid. They really didn't do that. Like, honestly, they didn't. Yeah, I know. I might watch 3-4 games a year typically. Yeah, like they were not smart about how they said that. They've genuinely made it very hard to watch baseball this year. Between ESPN Plus, Apple TV, Netflix, Fox, the NBC Sports Philadelphia, which I do get through Comcast, thankfully. So I can actually watch the Phillies. I just have to watch them on cable. But between all of that, like, do you know what I mean? They genuinely made it way too difficult to watch baseball this year. Mariner games were crazy to start the season. Oh, wow. Wow. You would have to explain how so, because obviously I wouldn't know. Right. 0-2 is the count. Here's the pitch to McBride. He's going to take that off the plate away. It's 1-2. Here's the 1-2. That's in the dirt. 2-2. A 2-2 pitch. That is lined right at the shortstop, and he has dropped it. It is the 7th error for Fort Wayne in this game. Dicky Flowers is credited with the error. As of right now, only Count Sensendorfer in center, Steve King in left, and Dave Birdsall in right have yet to be credited for an error on the Fort Wayne side. And that puts McBride on first with nobody out. Cap Anson settles in. He is 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Anson. And he has ripped this in the left, but that's going to drift foul. We'll do it again. 3 to 4 days before the season, we weren't told what streaming services to get. Then 1 game, no TV. Game 2, Apple Plus. Game 3, Mariners TV. Or Game 2 and 3 swapped. Oh, my God. MLB app on VPN to Kansas City, Missouri. No feed available. What VPN service are you using, if you don't mind me asking? Not that it makes a difference. I know it might not make a difference at all. But Mulvad? Oof, okay. Right. Here's the 0-1. That's fouled down the first base side. 0-2 now to Anson. I actually have a command that I've not been doing at all tonight, which is called !E for the errors. And I literally put it in my title, and then I forgot to do it whenever there's been an error. Here's the 0-2. I love Mulvid because you can pretend to be a spy and send the cash in an envelope to Sweden to pay for it. Oh, my God. Nice, yeah. Exclamation point pro, gang. Exclamation point pro. I'm coding stream stuff at the moment. Nice. Here's the 0-2. It's high. 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That is ripped right at the third baseman. He's got it. The throw back to second. Did they get both? They got both. It's a double play. Five to 3 double play. And that clears the bases. You know what's really neat? I think shout out Sassmats, by the way, because this reminded when you said OBS streamer Elgato stuff. Nice. Oh no, we're not talking chat. No. But shout out to Sassmas, right? Because he's literally written a Python program, and it actually keeps track of everybody that chats in the stream, and if they follow or sub or raid or cheer. So I no longer have to use the notebook. So if you guys are new here, I used to write down everybody that came in stream during any given day in a notebook. Like, I would have it all in a notebook. Like, there's all the viewers that one day, right? And then I would have a section for, like, raids and subs and follows and cheers and streaks. I used to do that. And Sass was literally like, I'll write you a program. And he did. And they wrote well, this is an executable file. I launch it at the start of every stream. So it's literally an executable that he made that I launched at the beginning of every stream, and then it just pulls everybody, like it pulls the names, because I like to do a roll call at the end of the stream. I don't know if he wants me to give it out or not. So especially considering he kind of wrote it specifically for me, so I would have to clear that by him. But yeah. I only get right. Outside that, I can't make it. Nice. Okay, I was gonna say what happened? Why is there no sound? Right. Here's the first pitch to George Hall, and he is lined out right at the first baseman. He's got it, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no men left on base. We go bottom fifth here in Fort Wayne. The Kekiongas trailing 7-1. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 spots due up. Fergie Malone will take the batter's box when we come back. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. Welcome back. Yikes, 14-1. Yeah, I know. The Dodgers are the new Yankees. Yeah, another lost season to for the Diamondbacks. Thus, I turned mine into a dynasty. Yep, Dodgers over Blue Jays. Yeah. I hope you guys don't mind the sports score bot, by the way. So, I like it as an addition. I think it's fantastic. And I really care about results all across the league. I won't watch the games all across the league, but I will always keep an eye on results. I love the bot, yeah. It just gets a little spammy on weekends because the bot has MLB, every team, NHL, every team except the Flames. It has MLS, every team. It has National League Panorama, or it's now called Enterprise National. It's got League 2, League 1, Championship, and the Premier League. You can also do way more. You can do like Champions League and all that stuff, but I don't have. Those are the only leagues I have it set up for. But when all the English kickoffs kick off at the same time on the weekend, it will spam the ever-living crap out of chat. But it literally is just for the English season. I got to get that set up. I will get you the link to that if you would like right now. It is actually insanely easy to set up. Where did I put? I might have closed it, but if not, I'm in the Discord. So if I don't find it via a search, which I did, here we go. This is it. Here you go. You can do all types of things. You can do a chat bot. You can do an actual ticker, like a stream scoreboard overlay on your stream, or you can do a ticker overlay on your stream. It has it all set up. All the details are there. I chose the chat bot, but you can do whatever you wish. You are welcome. It's super easy. It's super easy to set up. Right, bottom fifth. It'll be Fergie Malone settling in, and he'll lead things off. He flied out the right field first at bat. Here's the first pitch to Malone. And he has shot that into right field. That is going to be right at the right field. He's taking a few steps the other way. He makes the grab, and Malone gives it a good ride into right, but he is retired either way. I just do teams I care about. Need to figure out if I can do University of Hawaii, Rainbow Warrior. He doesn't have anything set up for college sports. He has nothing set up for college sports because his problem is the APIs to pull from college sport are so varied, and he has to pull from so many to begin with, like to get Champions League and all that other shit. So, I don't think if he were to implement an API he could pull from for college sports, it would either A, pull all of the colleges, or B, pull a specific college all of the time. So, at least that's my understanding of it. Here's Dave Birdsall settling in. He grounded out his first at bat. First pitch. He talks about the APIs a lot on his Discord. That's fouled back to the backstop. It'll be 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Check swing. They're going to ask first base. He did not go. And the pitch was outside. It's 1-1. The 1-1. That is high. 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. That's high again, 3-1. Hitters count now to Dave Birdsall. Here's the pitch. And Birdsall is behind on that one. 3-2. The payoff pitch from Dick McBride is lined into right, base hit. That is a single for Dave Birdsall. And he's aboard with one out. Did you get the British mic a few months ago? This was a COVID purchase. I was literally making double I was working 80 hours a week during COVID, 70 to 80 hours a week. And I was making even after taxes, I was making double my paycheck. Um, so I came home and I looked up this microphone because I've always wanted it, because I've seen it on F1 and I've seen it on the football and I've seen it on all sorts of things. And I read up on mics because I was trying to decide what mic I wanted to be a professional commentator's mic. And everyone said this is like the Rolls Royce of microphones. It literally, journalists and reporters trust it in war zones. And I'm like it's been used in by the BBC in like every war they've ever reported on. Not that I condone war or anything like that. I don't, please. But I'm saying it is built durable to survive the harshest conditions. So I looked at that and I said, oh, really? I'm gonna get it. And then I got a mixer to go with it. I got a Behringer Zenyax 1204 USB, and that's what it feeds into. So I have which is an 8-channel. It's an 8-channel audio interface, and I've only ever had one mic plugged into it. But it was only $200 for an 8-channel interface. I mean, that's pretty cheap. So. And I've had both for 6 years. This was my CS mic. This is what I used. I used to use a headset mic. And somebody said, you got to get a professional mic to do. The reason why I got it, real quick, just the lore on the microphone. The reason why I got it, Mr. Nuclear Monster, is I used to have DSL, and that was the only internet provider in the area. Frontier had a monopoly, and they lobbied the local governments to keep a monopoly here, right? So I only, for the first 13 years I lived out here, DSL was the only internet type that you could buy, and Frontier was the only supplier of that internet, right? So you went with them. There was nobody else. Well, DSL is not stable enough and strong enough to stream on. So pre-COVID, I would drive to a LAN cafe in Philly, and I would commentate from an internet LAN cafe in Philly. I would work my shift 8 a.m. to about 6 to 8 p.m. whenever I finished, usually around 6 p.m., like a 10-hour shift. Drive from South Jersey to Philly, go to the LAN center, start at like 7:30, and I would commentate till about midnight, and then I would drive all the way home back to Lancaster County, get in at like 1:15 in the morning, go to bed, wake up, and do it all over again. And I did that Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. Saturday, I was off usually, and same with Sunday. And the LAN center opened at noon and went to midnight or 2 a.m. on Saturday, but midnight. So I would do noon to midnight at the LAN center because I wanted to catch the European games on the weekend, right, with the time difference. But the Internet LAN center was a real small place. It was on 3rd and Poplar, 902 North 3rd, right, in Philadelphia. I remember. And that was their old building, and it was really tiny. It had about maybe 40 to 60 PCs. And so when they ran any sort of event, Call of Duty, League of Legends, Overwatch, no matter what it was, the place was packed. And I would get a PC, and I would commentate on a headset mic. Well, you got gamers gaming all around you. The rest down the table, because the tables were like 8 PCs deep, and there were like four sets of them. So you'd have gamers to your left, you'd have a full team to your left, you'd have a full team across from them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it was a really loud environment. So I was looking at microphones, and I said, what is a microphone that's going to block all of that out? And the best microphone to block out environmental noise is this microphone. So I bought it with the understanding that I was going to return to the LAN center nightly once COVID was over. And of course, during COVID, Frontier filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which allowed T-Mobile internet to roll in. So I had T-Mobile internet for a while. That was okay. It was unstable. That was the only problem. Like you got a decent speed. We had 25 up and 5 down. No, 25 down and 5 up, which is like bare minimum to stream. But because it was 5G internet, the connection constantly was spiking because it's like streaming off Wi-Fi. And depending on, like, the stupidest thing about it was, depending on where in the house you put the router, it would depend on your signal strength. So, for example, this is on the back side of the house, this room. So when we put the router box like on the table behind me, we were getting like 6 down and like 1 up. But then when I put the box up in my bedroom, which is on the complete other face of the house, I was getting like 25 down, 5 up, and I'm like, why the hell? So I had to run a 50-foot cord here into the wall to get the internet, and it ran all the way out the door, all the way upstairs, through the banister, like, you know what I mean? And then I did that for a year, and that's when I would still go to the land center, but they had moved. They're on Callowhill and Broad now. Big, huge center. It's called Localhost. If you ever get the chance to look it up on the internet, Localhost Philly. But at the block at Localhost Philly. But huge facility now that they've run. Like that facility has like 160 PCs now. It's massive. But then a year later, in 2022, Comcast came out here and said, "Hey, we're gonna if your HOA approves it, we'll run cable lines and give you guys cable internet." And I told Dad, I said, "I know you hate the HOA, but email them right away and say lay that motherfucker down." And thankfully, the HOA pushed the Comcast deal through. And said yes, they can come in and tear up the edges of the lawns to lay the cable lines down, and they did that, and we've had cable internet ever since. So, but it's also just a really good microphone. Like, it sounds great, and you know me, like I said, I have GERD, so I get a lot of indigestion, lot of belching, a lot of coughing, and I'm not really near a kill switch button. The mute button is way over there on the thing. So I can just pull the mic away, and it's like an auto mute. I don't have to worry about it, right? Well, I love that feature. So that is incredible. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, it's the best mic ever. It costs a fucking arm and a leg, though. Good Lord. But yeah, best mic ever. This mic cost me $975. So, but you know what? I have almost 2,000 hours of commentary in this mic now. So, right. Let's get back to the game, shall we? It is Zetland settling in. He's in the batter's box. 1 on, 1 out. Here's the throw over to first, and the runner is back in time. Throw over to first again, and the runner is back safely. I mean, it's not also the mic; it is also the mixer. You gotta adjust your audio dials correctly and everything. You know what I mean? So, I have a just over halfway on compression. My medium is turned. I think my medium's on like -5, and my low is on +7 maybe. So I've boosted the low end of my range, and I've turned down the medium end of my range. So setting that up is very important as well. Don't get me wrong. But, yeah, awesome stuff. Right, here's the first pitch. And that is taken on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. This is why if you have the money to do it, if you're into streaming or anybody's in the streaming, and people that get new in the streaming, and I said, if you have the money to do it, always go with an XLR mic over a USB mic. Hands down. I know that's like super easy knowledge everybody knows, but when people are new, that's what I always tell them. The 0-1 pitch is taken off the plate away for a ball. It's 1-1. OBS setup is easy. I don't know if you use Streamlabs, Mr. Nuclear Monster, but I don't like Streamlabs, man. Streamlabs I've never have. And check swing on this one on a ball inside. They go to first base. He did not go, says the umpire. So I do not use Streamlabs. I use base OBS with the Stream Elements Live plugin. So that's literally all I do. But I worked in esports for 4.5 years, so I really could navigate OBS very well. You know what I mean? So you'll learn a lot about OBS in that time because you're always working with producers, you know. Here's the 2-1, and that's fouled into the seats. It's 2-2. And not only are you working with producers, but if you have an off day and you want to do an ESCA game just to like stream and keep fresh, or whatever reason, right? You don't, you got to set up OBS yourself. So a lot of people have their own, a lot of commentators, if they've been in the business long enough, they'll have their own stingers and they'll have their own camera paths within CS. Well, CS2 now, but CSGO then. And all of that will be available via like a stream deck. So you would have played around enough within it to know, you know. Here's the 2-2, and that is popped up in the infield. First baseman's over there. He makes the grab, and that is going to be Zetland settled down, 2 away. Top of the order now, Dickie Flowers. He's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch. That's fouled to the backstop. 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. That is high, ball 1. It's 1-1 the count. The even count pitch is taken inside for a ball, 2-1. Throw over to first, and the runner is back safely. The 2-1 is waved at and missed, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch, high and inside, and the count has been run full. Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up in the infield. Third baseman's over there. He's going to make the grab, and the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 man on base. We go top 6th here in Fort Wayne. It is 7-1 Rockford. 3, 4, 5 spots due up. Ross Barnes, the man who's going to lead things off here in the 6th. But first, new inning means new sponsor. Lone Star is an awesome out of the park baseball streamer who's got an awesome save going called 20 Games in 2 Hours, where he will play through 20 games of the base game franchise mode Arizona Diamondbacks. He started in the year 2000. He's up to 2006, trying to turn the Diamondbacks into a dynasty. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Lone Star is going to sponsor our 6th inning here tonight. It is George Zetland returning to the mound still. Ross Barnes settles in. Barnes 1 for 3. First pitch to Barnes. It says he's 0 for 2. Why is he 0 for 2? He erred on the first inning. He popped up on the second inning. And, oh, he is 0 for 2. He walked in the third inning. My bad. That's not a single. It's a walk. And he's taking that one outside for a ball. It's 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That is at the knees for a called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1. Check swing. They asked first. He did not go. Not even close. 2-1. The 2-1. Grounded back up the middle. Base hit. And now Barnes is 1 for 3 on the afternoon. That'll be the leadoff man aboard for Rockford. That Pike settles in, 1 for 3 himself. It's been a day, Coley, but I'm all right. I'll be all right. I hope you're well, though, man. How are you? Here's the first pitch to Pike. And he swung on that one and missed. That one's going to get by the catcher as well. That is a passed ball, and Barnes goes to second. Tired? I understand, man. I understand. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Pike. Inside, 1-1. I had to have a Karma, which is like a caffeinated water, It's caffeinated. It's part caffeinated, part B vitamins. It's a mix. So B vitamins are naturally what gives the body energy. And then obviously caffeine. We all know what caffeine does. So, but it's a mixed drink. It's a mixed water, mixed flavored water that does that. And I usually have one at like 2 in the afternoon. And like, I was so tired after dinner because it's been an exhausting day. And I had an unbelievable migraine this morning. So, what do you call it? I had it at like 6:30 tonight. So I'm feeling okay, but it's starting to wear off. So, but I didn't feel as tired, but like, man, after dinner, I was, whoa. Here's the 1-1. That's off the plate, 2-1. It's been a Monday. It's been a really weird, strange, crazy, odd, tiring Monday. The 2-1 pitch. Way off the plate away, 3-1. Here's the 3-1. And he's offered at that one, 3-2 to Lip Pike now. The 3-2 pitch. Ball 4, and Lip Pike has drawn a walk. That'll bring up Doug Allison. Allison is 2 for 3 himself. Nobody out, 2-1 here. First pitch to Allison. That's popped up behind home plate. Catcher's there, and he makes the grab. That's one away. Here's Joe Start. He's 1 for 2. First pitch to Start. He's ripped this into right. Right fielder going back. He's not going to cut it, and it's a fair ball. This could be runs. The throw coming into second. Safe at second is Joe Start. It's an RBI double for him. Coming in to score from second is Barnes. Going to third will be Lip Pike. It's 8-1 Rockford. George Bird is the next man in. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Bird. He's chopped that foul. It'll be 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to George Bird. Ripped. That's over to third. Throw one to first. That's in time, but the run does score. So it's an RBI 5-3. Coming in to score from third is Lip Pike. And Rockford have made it 9-1. George Wright will settle in now. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Wright is off the plate away for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. That is shot high and deep, and it splits the gap in right field. This is going to be a triple. Going to third and sliding in safely is George Wright, and it's an RBI triple for righty. Joe Start will score. 10-1 Rockford. Here is Dick McBride, 2 for 3 for him today. First pitch to McBride. A shot into left, base hit, and McBride has got an RBI single. It's 11-1 Rockford. And that is going to be the end of the day for George Zetlin. Zetlin's been pulled, his pitch count 98. He goes 5 2/3 innings. He struck out 1. He walked, I think, 2, right? He walked 2. He's given up 12 hits, 11 runs. I have no clue how many of them are earned. I will figure that out after the game. Ned Connor will be the new pitcher. He's got Camp Anson at the plate. Anson is 1 for 4 today. First pitch, and that one is going to be a wild pitch. So going to second is Dick McBride. There's the 1-0 pitch. And that one is away, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. That one's high, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. He's walked him on 4 pitches. Cap Anson's aboard with a 4-pitch walk. That'll bring up George Hall. Hall is 1 for 4. First pitch to Hall. He checked at that one. And it's going to get by. Is that a pass ball? It's a wild pitch. Did he swing? He did not swing, says the third base umpire. Going to second is Anson. Going to third is McBride. And it's not a good look when Connor comes in and throws 2 wild pitches out of 5 to start. Here's the 1-0. High and away, 2-0. The 2-0. And that is a wild pitch. That's a pass ball. Sorry, that is a pass ball. Cap Anson goes to third, and McBride will score 12-1 Rockford. The 3-0 pitch. And that's taken for a called strike. It's 3-1. That is the first strike he's thrown. Here's the 3-1. Grounded over to first. Going over there is the catcher. He's there in time, and the side is finally retired. 5 runs on 4 hits, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It is 12-1 for Rockford. 2, 3, 4 spots, 2 up first for Fort Wayne. It'll be Count Sensendorfer who's going to lead things off. We're going to take a 90-second timeout. We'll be back with more in a minute and a half. We're back, bottom 6th here in Fort Wayne. Rockford with a 12-1 lead. McBride back on the mound. Sensendorfer in the batter's box. 0 for 1 today for Sensendorfer. He is 3 for 5 this season against McBride. First pitch, and that is taken right there for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that is taken high, 1-1. The 1-1 pitch, and that one is taken right down broad for a strike. 1-2 now to Sensendorfer. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 2. The 2-2 pitch, and that's taken just off the outside corner. 3-2. That was a tough pitch to lay off. The payoff pitch to Sensendorfer. Inside, ball 4, and Fort Wayne get a leadoff runner. Solid at bat from Sensendorfer. Here's second baseman Jimmy Wood. He's 1 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Jimmy Wood. And he's lined up right back up the middle, base hit. And that's going to move Sensendorfer to second. And 2-1, nobody out here for Fort Wayne. The rally can start here if they can bring these runs in. Steve King settles in, 0 for 2 for him today. And the first pitch is lined right at the first baseman. He's dropped it. He's dropped it. The runners went as well. And that is an E3. Going to second is Wood. Sensendorfer's at third. And first baseman Joe Start gets his second error of the evening. That is unfortunate. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. Here is the first pitch to Harry Schaefer. He's 1 for 2 today. And he's going to take that in the dirt for a ball, 1-0. The 1-0 pitch. That's high, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. Inside, ball 3. Is he going to have the green light? The 3-0. He is taking all the way, and that one's a called strike. It's 3-1. The 3-1 is grounded over to the shortstop. They're going to go home. Did they get him? They got him at home. Did they get him? They got him at home. 6-2. They got. Oh, it's a fielder's choice. Sorry, I just wrote 6-2. It's a FC 6-2. So they throw Sensendorfer out at home. Wood goes to third. King goes to second. Schaefer is aboard on a fielder's choice. And that'll bring up Wes Fizzler. He's over 2 today. Here's the first pitch to Fizzler. He's fanned at that one. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that one falls right in front of the plate. Everybody's waits. 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is popped up right at the third baseman. He's got it, and there are 2 away. That is a door open for McBride to get out of this jam. Fergie Malone settles in. He is 0 for 2 so far today. He's grounded over to third. The throw on to second, that's in time. And they get out of the bases loaded jam. No runs on 1 hit. And they leave the bases loaded. We go to the top of the 7th. And it's 12-1 Rockford. The 3, 4, 5 spots will be due up for Rockford. Ross Barnes will lead the inning off again. But first, Mr. Nuclear Monster is an awesome streamer who does all sorts of stuff. Retro gaming, GeoGuessr, played through Marathon on stream, has been doing Enclosed on Horse, has played a variety of retro games. Give him a follow if you haven't already. Mr. Nuclear Monster is our sponsor for the 7th inning here tonight. You are welcome, Mr. Nuclear Monster. Top 7th in Fort Wayne, 12-1 to the Forest Citys. Ned Connor back on the mound for Fort Wayne. Ross Barnes settles in. Barnes is currently 1 for 3 so far today. First pitch. And that's grounded foul down the third base side. That emote, by the way, for those that are not familiar with Mr. Nuclear Monster, that's from Doom. He is an IO Quake 3 programmer and helps run the IO Quake 3 community. Good morning. Good morning, Pat Witz. How are you, my friend? Great to see you. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that's fanned at and missed. It'll be 1-2 to Barnes. The 1-2 is shot in the gap in right center field. It is off the wall. And Barnes is going to go to third, and it's a leadoff triple for Ross Barnes. That'll bring up Lip Pike. Pike is 1 for 3 today. Runner is just 90 feet away with nobody out. First pitch to Lip Pike. And that is high for a ball, and it is a wild pitch. And coming in to score is Ross Barnes. It's now 13-1. Here's the 1-0. Fouled off. It'll be 1-1. The 1-1. Grounded back to set. It's another error. When does the pain stop if you're a Fort Wayne fan? That is the 8th error of the night. It's the 2nd on Jimmy Wood. But 8 errors. Thank you, Mr. Nuclear Monster. 8 errors for Fort Wayne is diabolical. Absolute diabolical fielding. Here's Doug Allison settling in. Allison is 2 for 4. First pitch to Allison with a runner on first. And that's a wild pitch. And going to second is Lip Pike. Here's the 1-0. And that's popped up. First baseman's got it, and he will make the play. I wonder how professional baseball would have developed differently had Cap Anson not be incredibly racist. I don't know. Why'd you got to tell me that? Because he's on my team. I didn't know that. Then again, I'm sure baseball is littered with them because of the era, right? Like 1871. Like they didn't even get the right to vote and everything until 64. So, you know what I mean? Like it just, that era probably was horrible with them, you know? That'll bring up Joe's start. Start is 2 for 4. It's 2 for 3. Sorry, 2 for 3 for start. No, we're having a substitution. I beg your pardon. We're having a substitution. He's been dead for over 100 years. Rest in piss. Yeah. Rest in piss, Anson. Yeah. Right. It'll be Tom Pratt who settles in. He is subbing in for Joe Start. Start's going to finish 2 for 3 today. Here's the first pitch to Pratt, and he has popped this one up. He's flying out deep into right. And right fielder's there. He makes the grab, and Pratt is retired. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me if a large portion of the NPBB player base was also the same way because of the error that it was, right? I'm not saying it's acceptable because of that error, obviously. I'm just saying it's not like it was unfortunately an uncommonality, right? That's all I'm saying. That'll bring. We have another substitution. The Wikipedia article on this dude is very interesting. Here's a runner on second, 2 out. This is Harry Dean who's come in. He's subbing in for George Bird, so Bird will finish 0 for 4, but with an RBI. Here's the first pitch to Bird. That is going to, I'm sorry, to Dean. That is fouled off. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That's high, 1-1. The 1-1. I don't recommend it unless you want to be furious. I'm all right. I'm all right. That swung on a miss. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch to Harry Dean. Off the plate, and it's a wild pitch. And going to third is Lip Pike. Here's the 2-2. That might be a pass ball this time, actually. It's another wild pitch, and Lip Pike scores. It is 14-1. Here's the payoff pitch, and he's walked him. Harry Dean gets a pinch hit walk. That's going to bring up George Wright. Wright is 1 for 4. First pitch to Wright. And that is taken for that's called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. That is popped up. Oh, that's deep. That's going way back there. Almost at the warning track, but the left fielder's there. He makes the grab, and the side is retired. 2 runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 aboard. We go to the 7th inning stretch in Fort Wayne. 14-1, Rockford. 8, 9, 1 spots due up. As always, we are going to take a break at this point. Just get up, stretch the legs, and in the meantime, you're going to enjoy this rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We'll be right back. You heard the man. We are going to play ball. We are back with the bottom of the 7th here in Fort Wayne. Dave Birdsall set to be the first man up. It is the 8-9-1 spots for Fort Wayne. Dick McBride back in on the mound. Just 88 pitches so far through the 7 innings, or through the 6 innings. Thank you, Mr. Nuclear Monster. Right. First pitch to Birdsall. Let's see if we can get this game done, shall we? And he's going to take that right at the knees for a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Off the plate away, 1-1. I usually like to go out and like walk around and give my legs a stretch and stuff like that, but I went out and my mother fell asleep on the couch and she was just like, and I was like, and I just backed up into the room. I just stood in the corner and just stretched my legs a little bit in the corner. Right, 1-1 pitch. I definitely stared at her when the floorboard creaked at like caveman SpongeBob. I was like, ooh. The 2-1. And that is on the outside part of the plate. It's 2-2. A 2-2 pitch now to Dave Birdsall. And he swung on and missed. And he struck him out. 1 away. That'll bring up Ned Connor. It'll be his first at bat in this game. First pitch to Connor. And he's going to take that right at the knees for a strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. And he's taking that right down Broad Street. It's 0-2 now. The 0-2 pitch to Ned Connors. Grounded over to second. And it's an error on the second baseman. We got a lot of them tonight. Second baseman Russ Barnes gets credited with the error. And that'll put Connor aboard. 1 out. Right. 1 on, 1 out now for Ralph Hamm. That's a substitution. Ralph Hamm is coming in. I'm kind of shocked that they're making a sub on Dickie Flowers because he's one of the people that really actually have done well against McBride so far this season. Here's the first pitch though, and that is ripped right at the first baseman. The race back to the bag, and he stepped on it. It's an unassisted double play. Would you believe it? Ralph Hamm lined out straight to the three. It's an L3 UDP. And that is going to retire the side. No runs, no hits. They leave nobody on base. We go top 8th here in Fort Wayne. It's 14-1 for Rockford. New inning means new sponsor. Pat Witz is an awesome Apex Legends, F1 manager, and football manager streamer. Give him a follow if you haven't already. He's one of the Philippines' greatest streamers. The great Pat Witz sponsors tonight's 8th inning. This is him with Kick, Salver winning a podium, which is like, damn. Oh no, wait, that's not Salver getting a podium. Salver getting points, but there you go, Bates. There you go. He's managing Cadillac F1. There you go. And it's a is that a 1-2 as well? That's pretty sick. I just realized that's a 1-2. Yeah. There's a lot to be proud of there. Right, go give him a follow if you haven't already. Great guy, the awesome Pat Witz. Ned Connor is back on the mound for Fort Wayne. Top 8th, here's the first pitch. And that is taken right down broad for a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is grounded over to first. Or over to third. Throw on to first. That's in time. 1 away. Was that Anson? I didn't even look. Oh, that was McBride. That's right. That was McBride. So 5-3 on the putout. It's going to bring up Cap Anson. He is 1 for 4 so far today. First pitch to Anson. And he has ripped this into right. That is going to drift foul. We'll do it again at 0-1. The 0-1 to Anson. Inside, ball 1. 1-1. A 1-1 pitch. Fanned at and missed from Anson. It's 1-2. Can we have a WWE limo run on into Anson? Oh my God. Oh my God. He's dead. Ew. Ew. I'm not going to read that for the VOD purposes, but I mean, it's going to be on screen during the ad break, but ew. Here's the 1-2. And he swung on and missed, and he struck him out. 1 away. I mean, that's just nasty as fuck. That's just so nasty. Right. That'll bring up George Hall. He's 1 for 5. Here's the first pitch to Hall. That's not Hall. That's Al Barker. Or Baker. Sorry, Barker. Al Barker. So Hall's day is done. 1 for 5 is Hall. That's what he will finish. Here's the 0-1 to Barker now. And that's foul down the third base line. 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Barker. Off the plate away, 1-2. Here's the 1-2. High and in, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. He's fouled that back to the screens. It's still 2-2. The 2-2, that's inside, ball 3. The 3-2 pitch. He's walked him. And Barker's drawn a walk. That'll bring up Russ Barnes, third baseman. 2 for 4 so far today for Barnes. Runner on first, 2 down. That one is a wild pitch, but it's just a ball. The catcher has stopped it enough. So no wild pitch on the actual scorecard. He just got stopped enough. Here's the 1-0. That's a wild pitch. And it's 2-0. Barker goes to second. Here's the 2-0. That's a wild pitch. Barker goes to third. Here's the 3-0. And it's below the knees. And Barnes has walked on 4 pitches. Runners on the corners. And 2 outs here in the 8th. They're still going to keep Connor on the mound. Okay. His stamina bar not looking too hot. Here's the first pitch. Off the plate away, 1-0. The 1-0. Grounded back to second. The throw on to first. That's in time, and the side is retired. Was that Pike, by the way? Yeah, that was Pike. Right, no runs on no hits, but they left 2 aboard. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a 14-1 Rockford game. We're going to just play straight through. No ad break. We're going to play straight through. Here we go. Dick McBride back on the mound. Count Sensendorfer settles in. Sensendorfer is 0 for 1 today. First pitch to Count Sensendorfer. And he's going to take that on the inside part of the plate for a called strike. It's 0-1. There's the 0-1 pitch. That is, I think it's below. No, that's right at the knees, says the umpire. 0-2 to Sensendorfer. Here's the 0-2. And he's popped it up in the infield. Third baseman takes a couple of strides in, makes the grab, and Sensendorfer is sat down. Here is Walt. We're going to have a substitution. Wally Goldsmith will come into bat for Jimmy Wood. Wood finishes 2 for 3. He's got the only RBI for Fort Wayne in this game. That was all the way back in the first. Here's the first pitch to Goldsmith. And he's going to take that off the plate away, ball 1. There's the 1-0. Check swing. They asked third. He did not go, says the third base umpire. And so it is now 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. That's popped up. That's a base hit. Really, the shortstop should have went back to get it. But that is a base hit. And Goldsmith, that's his first hit of the season as well. In just 4 at-bats he's taken, he will be aboard with 1 out. That'll bring up Steve King. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to King. Taken for a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 is waved at. 0-2. The 0-2. That's high, ball 1. A low 1-2. High again, 2-2. The 2-2 pitch.
Strike 3.
He swung on and missed. And he struck him out. Steve King is retired. 2 away. We're going to have another substitution. Charlie Smith will come in for Harry Schaefer. Schaefer finishes 1 for 3. Here's the first pitch. And that is ripped into left, base hit. That's a really good base hit. It's going to go all the way to the wall. And that should be a double. It is a double. Going to third will be Wally Goldsmith, and Charlie Smith has got a double. And there's 2 on in scoring position with 2 outs here in the 8th. Wes Fizzler's the next man in. He's 0 for 3. First pitch to Fizzler. Popped it up in the shallow infield. Third baseman's there. And once again, the trouble is alleviated as the side is retired. No runs on 2 hits, and they leave 2 on base. We go to the top of the 9th. It's 14-1, Rockford. Right, I've run through everybody that gets a shout out. I don't have anybody more that's showed up. Right. Yes. Sorry, I got DM'd by an artist on Discord. I made a really bad error, Mr. Nuclear Monster. I've made a really bad error. I might have gotten scammed for $100. So I was looking for, when I started this journey of getting art commissioned, I had posted on Blue Sky, hey, I'm looking for artists to commission. I got a shit ton of replies, right? So I posted like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, hey, I'm looking to get art commissioned. I have no idea how to start this. If you guys are interested, like, respond. But I didn't just, like, blast it. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I said. So 2 months ago, I had posted that I was looking maybe at buying emotes, right? And I didn't have, because Dreamster doesn't do commissions anymore as far as I'm aware. Dreamster did my VAR emote. For those of you that are not subs, this is my VAR emote. It's incredible. But Dreamster does not take open commissions anymore. So I can't get more emotes by Dreamster, unfortunately. So I needed to look for a new emote artist. I found one in Kuago the Owl, who is currently actually, I think, live, right? Yeah, she's currently live. She's going to be streaming my emotes on Friday. But anyway, I had that. So I quote posted on Blue Sky that I found an emote artist, having said that I'm still in the process of looking for commissioning artists for a full body render of my OC. And then I put continued, and in the reply I put, if we follow each other or someone you follow is someone who, I'm sorry, if someone I follow is also someone you are following, feel free to DM me here, and only here, meaning on Blue Sky. I got like 10 DMs, right? Like a lot of DMs. Well, I thought that was a lot. No, how many did I get? Hold on. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 DMs. Okay. 4 of those accounts have since been suspended off Blue Sky, which makes me believe that the only accounts that actually followed me were bots. And the one had a VGen. So I went, and I actually liked the one. Out of the 7 that DM'd me, like, I actually liked the one's art style. So I was like, actually, to be honest with you, I kind of like what they draw. Like, it looks good. I would be down. You know what I mean? So I reached out to them on VGen, and I submitted the request on VGen, which is the art site, right? They accepted by sending me the proposal. So you request, they send the proposal, you pay the proposal, and then the commission starts. They have taken, they've not marked it work in progress yet. It's still in queue. I commissioned them on the 29th of March. Now, I understand it's only been a week. The expected delivery date is no later than the 30th of April. So 30 days. Technically 31 because March is 31 days. But either way, 1 month, right? Usually just got to check reverse image search of whatever their portfolio work is to find out if they're a scammer taking other people's work. Which is true, except for the fact that they don't have anything on their portfolio in VGen. And their Twitter has not been used. They have no posts on their Twitter whatsoever. So, yeah. I think I've gotten rung up, unfortunately. It's fine. I'm going to wait until the 30th and then probably I'm going to wait until the 30th and probably see if I can force VGen to give me my money back. Otherwise, I'm just out the $100 and it's no big deal. It's $100. It's not like I threw my life away. You know what I mean? It's $100. So it's on me for not actually checking everything, unfortunately, right? However, lesson learned: never post. What do you mean by an escrow service? I don't understand what an escrow service is. I don't use that term, so I don't have anything to. I just don't have the knowledge of what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know what that means. Where are we? We're top 9th, right? Ned Connor is still on the mound. You pay a third party. The third party pays the artist after delivery is confirmed. It's not after the delivery is confirmed. So VGen has 2 ways of paying. If you pay, is when someone acts as a middleman who holds the money until someone what Mr. Team? Yeah, yes and no. There are 2 ways to pay. If you pay via a credit card, VGen holds the money, and when the artist marks it delivered, VGen pays the artist. If you pay via PayPal, the artist has the funds available immediately at the time of payment. I don't know about you. Anytime you get art commissioned, the payment is always up front, or half the payment is at least up front, right? Most artists either you pay after the initial sketch, or you pay up front to start the commission, or you pay 50% to start the commission, and then you pay the other 50% after the line art, meaning not the sketch, but the line art before the actual rendering and shading. So usually it's one of those 3 scenarios, right? VGen, if you pay with PayPal, most of the way it works is you submit a request, the artist reviews the request, they will reach out to you if they have questions about the request. Otherwise, if they want to take the request on, they will send you a proposal with the total that is due. You pay the proposal in order to start the commission. Did you pay via PayPal goods and services? So it's not a send money, it's a charge. It's not an actual it's not a, you know how it's like pay and send, you have that option? This isn't even pay and send. It's literally a charge from VGen. So I can reach out to VGen after the 31 days is up and say, this artist has ghosted me. And I can't get them to respond to anything. And what can I do? Can I please be reimbursed? And if they say no, because the problem with VGen, which is why I kind of like Skeb a little better, although Skeb, is usually you have the limited time. For PayPal, it's 180 days. You have 180 days to dispute a charge on PayPal. So, for what I like, what the problem with VGen is, the artist has to initiate the refund. VGen does not initiate the refunds. PayPal should have your back, right? So I'm gonna have to wait the 30 days, email VGen and say, hey, this artist ghosted me. Can you please force a refund? If VGen says no, only the artist can, I'm going to have to tell VGen I'm going to be submitting a dispute via PayPal if this is the case, and you will have to dispute this via PayPal, because then I'll have to pit VGen versus PayPal against each other and say, here's all the communication that I've had with the artist through VGen's chat client, because there's a chat client in VGen, asking the artist, can I have an update? Where is the update? Is there going to be a work in progress? When, you know what I mean? Like all of this stuff. And I'll send all that information to PayPal and say, I've been charged for a service that has not been delivered, and VGen has not returned the money. And then if I have any communication with VGen, I'll send them the screenshots of the communication with VGen and say, here's VGen denying the right to the refund despite the fact that the delivery was not performed on their website. Yes, I already have all that, Mr. Nukumatsu, thankfully. The thing I like about Skeb, which is a Japanese website, Skeb is VGen but for Japan. And the thing I really like about Skeb is an escrow. When you submit a request, right, the artist has a base price that they recommend. So let's say 5,000 yen. You can pay them whatever you want. You can pay them 7,000 yen. You can pay them 1,000 yen, but you have to pay them no less than the base price of what the artist asked for. So you submit the request on Skeb, right? So you reach, and you can't communicate with the artist at all. Skeb is literally very strict at that. Skeb is literally, there is no communication through Skeb, through email, or through any other social media site. You submit the request, and the artist either approves it, denies it, and if they approve it, they work on it, and they deliver the final piece to you, and there's no questions asked, no chat, nothing. But which is difficult because if you want something changed, or you don't get like an initial sketch and then say I want to edit this and that, it's literally you're just at the whimsy of whatever the artist does. But what I like about Skeb is Skeb charges you the moment you submit the request, but they do not, and the request gets accepted. Actually, I'm sorry, hold on. They charge you the moment you submit the request, right? And the request goes to pending status. The artist then gets 30 days to accept or deny they get 14 days. They get 2 weeks to accept or deny your request. If they don't respond, Skeb automatically cancels the request and refunds you the money. If they deny the claim, they do the same thing. If they accept the work, then Skeb gives them 60 days to complete the work and deliver it on Skeb. If they don't deliver it to you after 60 days, Skeb automatically refunds you the money, and the request gets canceled. Skeb handles all of that. That's what I like about it. Skeb doesn't pay the artist until the artist delivers the art, and Skeb automatically refunds you if the deadlines are not met. But you cannot request a specific deadline either on Skeb. You can't say, hey, I need this by a certain date. Skeb's literally like 14 days for the artist to respond, 60 for them to make the art. That's it, period. And they can deliver it within like 3 days. I've had some artists that turned around and delivered something in like 4 days, and I was like, all right, cool. But it's so streamlined over there in terms of the payment system. You can't get scammed because and Skeb tracks your completion rates if you're an artist. So if you're an artist and you keep missing deadlines, people, like when you go to the site, it literally, like the artist specific page, it'll literally say this artist has like a 75% completion rating, and then you're like, that's too low. You know what I mean? Whereas most artists are around anywhere from like 95 to 100%. So VGen's not like that though. Even if time expires, the artist has to initiate the refund, and I'm like, that's stupid. Because now you can just ghost people left, right, and center. You know what I mean? Like, they could probably get banned off VGen. Like, even if I don't get the refund from VGen, I could probably get them banned off VGen, and I'll just be like, get him out of here. You know what I mean? But I might have. We'll see. We'll see if I've fallen victim to a scam. So, but it's on me. It just goes to show you, no matter how diligent you can be, no matter how aware of these things you are, it just takes 1 second, one split moment where you're not paying attention, and you're out the money. Like that's the only problem. And I've been very adamant against scams and very what do you call it? Disciplined against them, I guess. And even I fell victim to potentially one. We'll see. Here's the first pitch. And that is off the plate away. It's 0-1. It's Doug Allison who settles in. He's 2 for 5. Connor's still on the mound. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That's inside. 2-0. Connor is out of gas. And I think we're going to see him subbed out here. That one's going to be a called strike. It's 2-1. But the thing is, the silver lining, by the way, is first off, it's not the credit card. It's not they don't have like my credit card information or anything, right? And it's literally a one-time request for $100. I'm not saying I want to part with $100. Don't get me wrong, but it's just some of those things with like you can learn to get by without it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like earth-shattering, life-tearing amount of money. It's just I've lost $100. Do you know what I mean? Like that's all it is. Here's the 2-1. He's grounded that over the second. The throw one to first. That's in time. Hope it works out and the artist just had something come up. I don't think so. And because the region, I like that VGen specifically. This allows slop. So does Skep, which is why I like it. One thing I will say is just really quickly, the whole situation with this artist is really confusing because so when you go to their Skeb page, they have nothing in the portfolio. Like they have commissions available, but they have nothing in the portfolio at all. So, which means they've worked on no works. They have nothing saved, nothing in the portfolio. They have a Ko-Fi and a Twitter that's linked. The Ko-Fi has art that they've posted from this has to be from ages ago, but from 6 months ago was the last time they posted on Ko-Fi. Now, the Twitter link. Thank you for sharing their experience with them. Yeah, I'm really in love with it at the moment. Right. So the Twitter link on the artist's page links me to an account that was created in July 2025 that's never posted. But there is a second different Twitter account on the Ko-Fi. And when you go to that Twitter account, right? That profile is active. And the only problem is the last time they posted was 7 hours ago. And a lot of the posts, they don't have any actual genuine posts. It's all replies. This is what makes me believe it's a scam. So like all the main things on their main page are all retweets. And then when you click replies, the only thing you see is them replying to a bunch of tweets saying I'm looking for an artist or I'm looking to commission an artist, right? I mean, their last 5 tweets was I'd love to have this opportunity 7 hours ago. I'd love to have this opportunity 7 hours ago. I'd love to have this opportunity 7 hours ago. I'd love to have this opportunity 7 hours ago. I'd love to have this opportunity 7 hours ago. And then the next set of replies is, if you do see this, check out my examples at my VGen 17 hours ago. And then the next tweet after that is, I'd love to have this opportunity. And all of them come with the links to the VGen. So since it's the exact same wording, like the exact same wording, it's a big red flag to me. But on top of that, see, I didn't see their Ko-Fi because I don't really use Ko-Fi. I mean, I use Ko-Fi very minimally. So when I looked at their profile, I'm just like, right, it's a newer artist. However, they have actually DM'd me on Twitter through that account. And yesterday she said, "I'll update for you. I'm working on your project." So I said, "Can you mark it work in progress in VGen then?" And they said it's 3:40 this morning. Yeah, sure. And I'm like, okay. But it hasn't been marked work in progress yet, and it's been 20 hours. So the fact that we have some communication through Twitter means there's a chance I'm not going to be scammed here. But the fact that they literally all of their tweets are the exact same wording means there's a chance it also could be a scam here. I don't know. We'll find out. More to be determined later. How you doing, Hakuna Matata? Welcome in, my man. Right. It is who there's been so many substitutes in the month. I think it's Tom Pratt, right? He's 0 for 1. Yeah, Tom Pratt is settling in. 0 for 1. Here's the first pitch. This was such a long stream. I'm going to run over time, by the way. But we had a good talk. That's a called strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. He's fanned on that one. It's 0-2. Other than the Union being so bad, I'm going down to Ocean City, Maryland the week of my birthday. Very nice. Very nice. Love Ocean City, Maryland. The Union, this is such a throw. We don't even have all of the DP spots filled, dude. It's such a throwaway season for the Union. Here's the 0-2 pitch. He's grounded that foul. We'll do it again at 0-2. Here's the 0-2. Check swing. They're going to ask. He did not go, says the third base umpire. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And it is lined deep in the left field, way back, left center field, way back. That's off the base of the wall. And that is a double for Tom Pratt. And still Ned Connor on the mound. At least you two are doing better, and U19's won the Dallas Cup. Nice. And Michigan wins the college basketball so over me. But if you are rooting for them, correct, congratulations. Right, Harry Dean is the next man up. Runner on second, 1 out. And that was the first pitch. That's high, 1-0. I was rooting for neither. Yeah, I don't. Here's the 1-0. That's way outside, 2-0. The 2-0 pitch. I'm sorry. It's inside, 2-1. I thought there was a pitcher change I missed. Here is the 2-1. That's grounded over to short. The throw on to first. That's in time. And Dean is retired. 2 down. Pratt cannot move with the ground ball to short, so it'll be 2 down. Runner on second for George Wright. Wright is 1 for 5 today. First pitch to Wright, and that is taken inside, but on the corner for a strike. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's grounded over to short. The throw on to first. That's in time, and the side is retired. No runs on 1 hit, and they leave 1 aboard. We go bottom 9th here in Fort Wayne. It is 14-1 Rockford. 7, 8, 9 spots due up for the for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Fergie Malone will lead it off. He is 0 for 3 so far today. First pitch from Dick McBride here in the bottom of the 9th. That's fouled off. 0-1. After the beach, I'm going to a concert in Philly. Who are you going to see? Here's the 0-1. Is that a K-pop group? That one's high, 1-1. Nice. Nice. Where are they playing at? They playing at the factory? Here's the 1-1. That's grounded foul. It'll be 1-2. What the hell is the Xfinity Mobile Arena? Where's that? Oh, the Wacko. Okay. It's a double wide. The FU Center. Yeah, the FU Center, the Wacko Center. Remember the Wacko Center? Yeah. There you go. We're bringing them all out. Is that what it's called now? The Xfinity Mobile Arena? You forgot about that one? Yeah. Here's the 1-2. That's on the off the plate inside, 2-2. I saw Metallica at the free concert they did at the FU Center. Man, great music, but fuck that band. Into oblivion. 2-2. The city paid them to do it. Nice. That's great. That's a fair ball. Rolling to the wall. This is going to be a triple. Safe. And that's a safe at third is Fergie Malone. Twice was the first K-pop group to perform at the arena. That place was sold out, I imagine. Idol will be the second group, and I got 100 level seats. Very nice. Twice mentioned. I'm not big into Twice. I think I was out of my K-pop era by the time Twice really came around. Like, there's a few songs I really enjoyed. What Is Love is one of them. But I was really out of K-pop by then. Here is Dave Birdsall settling in. The right fielder is 1 for 3 today. First pitch to Birdsall. That's taken high for a ball. It's 1-0. The 1-0. That's a called strike. It's 1-1. The 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Philly's going to come back, I hope. Ji-Hyo actually had a post stream and she ate a legit cheese steak on stream. That's fucking great. That's great. That's how you win fans. That is how you win fans. Here's the 1-2. And that is grounded over to second. The throw over to first. That's in time. The run will score. So RBI ground out. And scoring on the play will be Fergie Malone. That makes it 14-2. Guess where she got it from? Oh, please don't tell me it's Geno's. Please don't tell me it's Geno's. Or Pat's. Please don't tell me it's those two. It's not bad. Did she get it from the Phillies clubhouse by any chance? Did they make her like a special one? Because they would have been right across the street. No, I have no clue then. I have no clue. D'Alessandro's the only other guess I can come up with. Right. Jim South Street. That's a good steak shop. That's a good steak shop. What did she think of it? Here's Ned Connor, the pitcher. He's 0 for 1 today. She loved it. It's really good, yeah. The guy who does Nibonyoshi Philly came over for Cheesesteak Week last week. And he was posting on Instagram that there's a video on YouTube and TikTok. I will have to check it out. Yeah, I saw that, yeah. What a legend. God bless that man. Here's the 0-1. Love that dude, I know. How can you not love him? That's flied out into right. Right fielder's there. He makes the grab, 2 away. And Fort Wayne is down to the final out, which is going to be Ralph Ham. He lined into an unassisted double play. The first unassisted double play in our league's history. And he's lined into it. Does last at bat. Here's the first pitch to Ralph Ham. And he's late on that one. It's 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. The 1-1. That is right down Broad Street, and Fort Wayne are down to their final strike. The 1-2. Fouled. Stays 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. That's high. 2-2. The 2-2. That's inside. 3-2 now to Ralph Ham. Here's the pitch. That is flied out in the left, but it's going to drop base hit. Ralph Ham keeps the game going for now with a single. That'll bring up Count Sensendorfer. He is 0 for 2 so far today. First pitch to Sensendorfer. That is right down Broad for a called strike. It's 0-1. The 0-1 fouled off. And once again, Fort Wayne are down to their final strike. Here's the 0-2. That's high, 1-2. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. And the ball game is over. Rockford, a game and a half back of the National League lead, playing one of the co-leaders, come into town and put up 14. That will give them the victory, a big victory in the league. The National League is anybody's, except Troy's, game, as we see this final here from Fort Wayne. Rockford 14, Fort Wayne 2. Now it's time, as always, to do the batting statistics. We're going to start with the visiting Rockford Forest Citys. Cab Anson had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had 1 RBI. The hit was a double. And he had 1 base on balls. And he had 1 strikeout, and he scored 1 run. George Hall, he had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. He had an RBI on that hit. He also struck out once. Ross Barnes, he had 4 at-bats. He had 2 hits. One of those hits was a triple. He scored 3 runs. He had 2 base on balls. He committed 1 fielding error. Lip Pike had 5 at-bats. He had 1 hit. It was a triple. He had 3 runs. He had a base on balls. Doug Allison had 6 at-bats. He had 2 hits. He had an RBI, and he had 1 run. Joe Start had 3 at-bats. He had 2 hits. They were both doubles. He had 1 RBI. He scored 2 runs. He had a sacrifice, and he had 2 fielding errors. George Bird had 4 at-bats, no hits, but an RBI and a fielding error. George Wright had 6 at-bats. He only had 1 hit. It was a triple. He scored an RBI on that hit. He scored 2 runs. I did not write run for him in this. In the 8th inning. Not 8th inning, in the 6th inning. There we go. R. So he scored 2 runs. Dick McBride had 5 at-bats. He had 3 hits. And he had 1 RBI, and he scored 2 runs. Tom Pratt had 2 at-bats. He had 1 hit. It was a double. Harry Dean had 1 at-bat. He did not have a hit, but he had a base on balls. Al Barker did not have an at-bat, but he did have a base on balls. I watched the NCAA game. My bad. How are you? Doing good, Pat. Been lurking, but cheers for the stream, Benny, as always. Absolutely, Thomas. Thank you for lurking, man. Total at-bats for the Rockford Forest Citys: 5, 10, 14, 19, 25, 28, 32, 40, 45, 47. I have 48 at-bats. They got 46. I don't know where the fuck they get numbers from. I have 40, I got 46. I'm sorry, I got 48. I'm going to go 48. Let me see the math. 5, 10, 14, 19, 25, 28, 32, 45. Yeah, I have 48 at bats. I'm going to stick with that. Runs 1, 4, 7, 8, 10, 12, 14. Hits 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 13, 14. Doubles 1, 3, 4. Triples 3. Base on balls 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Strikeouts 2. Stolen bases none. Sacrifices 1. Just the 1 sack. RBIs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 RBIs. Fielding errors 1, 3, 4 fielding errors. Okay, we'll do the fielding better now. I'll be all right once I get a good night's sleep, which I'm about to do. To be honest with you, right? The batting statistics now for the Fort Wayne Kekiongas. Dickie Flowers, 3 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 fielding error. Count Sensender for 3 at bats, no hits, 1 strikeout, 1 base on balls, 1 sacrifice. Jimmy Wood, 3 at bats, 2 hits, 1 RBI, 2 fielding errors. Steve King, 4 at bats, no hits, 1 strikeout. Harry Schaefer, 3 at bats, 1 hit. Wes Fizzler, 4 at bats, no hits, 1 fielding error. 2 fielding errors for Harry Schaefer, by the way. Fergie Malone, 4 at bats, 1 hit, 1 run. That hit was a triple, 1 fielding error. Dave Birdsall, 4 at bats, 1 hit, 1 RBI, 1 strikeout. George Zetlin, 2 at bats, no hits, 1 fielding error. Ned, I probably messed up the fielding errors with the subs, by the way. So, hey, Pix, what's good, man? Phillies tied it. Harvard did it. Nice. Let's go. And they lead now. Let's go. I probably messed up the fielding errors because of the substitutes, but I'm not going to go back and fix it. Ned Connor, 2 at bats, no hits. Ralph Ham, 2 at bats, 1 hit. Wally Goldsmith, 1 at bat, 1 hit, and Charlie Smith, 1 at bat, 1 hit, and that hit was a double. Right. Total at bats for the the Fort Wayne Kekiongas: 3, 6, 9, 13, 16, 20, 24, 28, 30, 32, 34, 35, 36. They have 36, so I at least got that right. Right, runs is 2, hits 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's correct. Doubles 1, triples 1, fielding errors 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Strikeouts 1, 2, 3. Stolen bases, nothing. 1 caught stealing. That was Jimmy Wood, by the way. Sacrifices 1. RBIs 2. And, yeah, fielding errors was 8. Okay. Your pitching statistics now. Dick McBride gets the win. He goes all 9 innings. He gets credited with the win. He will improve to 10-9 on the season. I have his pitch count at 132. That is correct. Base on balls would have been. He didn't walk. He had 1 walk. Who had the walk? Oh, base on balls 1. Base on balls 1. That's right. Count Sensender for Drew walk. So 1 walk. He struck out 3. He gave up 9 hits, 2 runs. Both of them were earned. For George Zetlin, he went 5 2/3, 98 pitches, 2 base on balls, 1 strikeout. 11 runs, 12 runs. Sorry, 12 runs. 5 of them were earned. Ned Cuthbert did the other, what, 3 and a third. It's George Zetland that's credited with the loss. He's 10-9 now as well. Ned Cuthbert went 3 and a third. I have his pitch count 61. Yep. Base on balls 4. Strikeouts 1. Hits 2. Runs 2, and both of them were earned. First thing we're going to do, match attendance was 1,011. We're going to save the game immediately. Right, no other games for the day. We're going to advance the day, and no games on the 13th, or on the 12th. Sorry, so we're going to advance the day. No games on the 13th, so we're going to advance the day. No games on the 14th, so we're going to advance the day. And there is the return leg is next game. So we just had Rockford at Fort Wayne. The next game will be Fort Wayne at Rockford. The 10-9 Kekiongas against the now 500 Rockford Forest Citys. 10 games left for the Rockford season. There are 13 left for Fort Wayne. What has that done to the standings, though? Let's take a quick look at the standings. Obviously, American League didn't play. Their standings are the same. Boston is 12-3. They are the best team in baseball. They lead the American League by 2.5 games over the 10-6 Cleveland Forest Citys. The Philadelphia Athletics are 3.5 back at 10-8. Washington is 6.5 back now at 7-11. They have 16 games left to play in their season as well. What has this done? The loss by Fort Wayne has given Chicago back the sole possession of the National League. If you remember, for most of June, Chicago was the leading team in the National League. They are once again the leading team, but it is by the thinnest of margins. It is a half game for Chicago up on Fort Wayne. We are sitting at 11-11. We are a game back now of the National League lead. The New York Mutuals are sitting down there at 8-8. They are also only a game back of the National League lead. Remember, only the pennant winners at the end of the regular season, the best team in the pennant at the end of the regular season, will make the World Series. Troy sits at 4-18. They are 8 games back, and they have 10 games to play. So they are probably going to become the one that's mathematically eliminated first. They're currently at 182 win percentage. That's abysmal. But there you have it. It is tight. It is insanely tight in the National League. If Rockford win the next game, they will leapfrog Fort Wayne by a half game. Rockford will move to within a half game of the National League lead. Fort Wayne will move to a game behind. If Fort Wayne win the next game, they will join Chicago again at the top of the National League, joint leaders at the top of the National League, and Rockford will again fall a game and a half back. But there you have it. We are at the smack dab midway point of July, the 15th of July. Technically, I think the next game is the next day, the 16th. Would be the middle part. There's 3 games on the 16th as well. There's 2 games. There's a rescheduled game as well. So there's a Washington-Cleveland doubleheader. We'll let you pick which one you guys want to watch at the end of the next Out of the Park stream. You'll get a choice of Troy and Chicago at Chicago or Washington at Cleveland. But that's what we got coming up after the Fort Wayne at Rockford game. Next game after that is going to be one of these two, Washington at Fort Wayne or Boston at Philadelphia. That's a massive matchup, by the way, in the American League. And then the next game after that is New York at Washington, Rockford at New York, and New York at Fort Wayne on the 24th. We've got Boston at Rockford on the 25th. Philly at Fort Wayne on the 27th. Fort Wayne and New York on the 28th. And the 30th, we'll see New York at Rockford, and Washington at Chicago will round out the month. So those are the upcoming games in July as well. If you're on YouTube, thank you so much for watching the recording. It was a hell of a long one, but thank you for watching. We'll see you for the next one. Until then, take care.